episode 101. Thank you all for listening to episode 100, The Pod Beats Patty Boggs, which I don't remember much of that. I'm Gary here with...
Bear, and thank you for being alive. I appreciate that.
Thank you. And...
The Shiv.
The Shiv. So the Shiv, I thought it would be a good idea to keep up with you and drink. I know you were at like 13, and that's when I got to 16, and I was gone. Like, my mom walked out, I remember that. 10 minutes later, I'm in the bathroom for 3 hours. I don't remember. Yeah. You guys finished an entire episode, 2 more hours, without me. It was, I don't know. I listened to it. It was good.
I don't know that it was good.
Jeff was trashed. I remember him coming, listening to it. Hold on, I got to go pee. And then he comes back. Hi, I'm Security Jeff. I'm back. And Gary's dead.
I'm still trying to make my way through it. I have maybe an hour left to go. It is.
It's not going to get any better either.
It starts getting pretty sloppy. Luckily, Bear was there at the game with Beer 1 and Beer 100. So
yes,
and I had Beer 69, and that's all I cared about. So good to go.
I know I had 16 beers within the first 75, which was not good because you guys just kept up. And yeah, it did not agree with me at all. So next time when we do this at episode 200 and we have a liquor equivalency, I'm not trying to beat the Shiv because it won't happen. Nope.
Well, I have nothing left to prove. I'm not. I need some other guys to carry a little bit more weight next time.
Well, Jeff had 12. I think Brandon had 13, which is good. Nate had, you said 10?
I think Nate had 10.
How many did you have?
I had 10, but not by the end of the show.
Oh, okay.
I still had another couple after there. I think Cody might have had 10, if I can recall.
Yep. Yeah, Cody wanted his double slash.
Smart.
He wanted the double slash.
Had to get it. It was good. Yeah, what else? I mean, Jason had 6, didn't he? And he was drinking diesel.
No? Maybe.
He had 4 or 6 because he's the one that took over for the sports discussion. And he sounded pretty sober when he was trying to read what you were talking about.
He really can't. He can't do beer, so it's not really his thing.
So in a year, when we do episode 200, he can do the liquor equivalent, and we'll be okay.
He'll drink Jack and Coke, yeah. He'll be okay there.
Sounds like we're going to do it.
Yeah, I mean, Ryan, too. Ryan doesn't drink beer, and he did a good job.
Oh, Cody Bryant? Cody
yes.
Bryant,
I think he had 3.
Yeah. But he's all about liquor, so if we get that, and so is 30-06, Sean. He's all about the
He had 4 or 5. He did good.
But he likes liquor. And if you get liquor, I mean, we'll beat it. We just got to figure out the equivalent of what a 12-ounce beer is to liquor or what a shot would be.
No, it's just drink for drink. So, I mean.
Oh, then, dude, I'll have a ton and be fine. But I'll do it over time. I don't know if it's drink for a shot. I feel like a beer is going to have more than a shot, though. By the way, speaking of shots.
Do I have to grab that?
Yeah, you might have to when I thank our sponsors.
No, beer's volume. That's the issue. But if you're looking at just the potency, 1 beer, 1 shot, that's so.
Okay, so each shot will be equivalent to a beer is what you're saying.
Yeah.
Okay. But I like it.
I'll stick to beer. It's like pop to me. So.
And liquor's like pop to me, as you know, because we've handed that at bars, so we'll be okay.
Well, we got 99 more to figure that out. So
yeah, we got
time.
So we've got 50 weeks to figure it out. So 50 weeks from now, we're looking at the end of July. So end of July, it might be around your birthday. Actually, your birthday was on a Wednesday this year, so I bet you it's that weekend after your birthday or the weekend before.
All right. I'd like to go to Vegas. Why don't we do episode 200 in Vegas?
There'd only be like 4 of us that could afford it, us 3 here, and...
I'm sure a couple more could.
You're probably right.
If we get a good deal at Costco or something like that, Costco Travel.
So then we got a
shameless plug.
Nice. Then we have to, of course, travel. So a suitcase would be full of all the equipment, which would be fine.
Yeah.
Start thinking about this.
Yeah, but if you
I like this actually.
Anywhere I travel that's under 5 days, I can go out with a duffel bag carry-on. I don't need to.
But if we have to send it,
check luggage.
Same thing when I go do shows.
You can FedEx that stuff.
I don't like checking bags.
I don't either.
Too much work.
No, yeah, absolutely. So yeah, we could check, or we could
split it between our duffel bags. I bet
Probably.
Probably
I mean, the
could.
soundboard's small enough. The only thing is going through security with the electronics is going to be kind of a
They
pain
won't
in the
care.
sack.
We can just make sure, talk to TSA before, and then be fine.
Okay.
And I that's not a bad idea. I'm not opposed to it.
I'm not either.
We could play blackjack at Ellis Island at $5 a hand
Nice. I like it.
before we record. That'd be
I
a
bet
great
you we could
time.
find a casino to let us record too,
Well, we could just do
even
it
if
in
it's
the room.
a shitty one.
Right, but we could just do it in the room. I mean, who
Yeah,
cares?
we could.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That would be a party. We would, it'd be interesting. I don't know if we'd want to do it at the Cosmo, because if somebody's wasted trying to stand on that balcony.
No, and that's my favorite hotel in Vegas.
Me too.
But to save money, we could stay at like Harrah's or the Link, which is in the middle of everything.
Yeah, it's not a bad idea.
Yeah, and Link has a good pool. Flamingo has a good pool. They're both in the center. So
I bet you if we reached out for a year on Twitter to like some of these Vegas casino and hotels, like, hey, we want to record our 200th episode there, blah, 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 hook us up.
Yeah.
Get some comp rooms.
Whoever gives us the best deal.
Yeah.
MGM, just do it by the pool. We'll give you guys a cabana.
Yeah, okay, fine.
I like how we're having a meeting on the mic.
Yeah, it's whatever. So people can figure out what we're doing.
Everyone's going to know where we're at now. We're going to have to switch plans. Alaska. Going to Alaska.
Yeah, maybe.
No.
So,
Just kidding.
yeah, you're right. All right, so thank you to Wes Anderson while you get the shots ready. Thanks to Wes Anderson for Moments in Time. Check him out on Facebook, Wes Anderson Music. Give him a follow on Twitter at Songs by Wes. Thank you to All Wear Clothing, Brandon over there. We appreciated the shirts. The shirts look great. I'm looking at mine right now with the 16 marks for the beer. The Pod Beats Patty Boggs, episode 100, Gray Lamarck on the back.
I wish that the people marking had made the marks bigger to really fill up the space, because 16 doesn't look like enough
No.
in that huge,
Well, we
huge
weren't sure-
square.
Well, we weren't sure what we were going to do. And,
Oh, I thought I was just going to stop at 12.
yeah.
So when the first
Yeah, me
slash
too.
on me was like, an inch long, I'm like, this is not going to be good.
Yeah, and when you did that, and when I saw you start drinking, I'm like, well, I got to keep going. I mean, he's at 13 now, so I'm going
I
past.
promised that I would do 3 right away, and so I had to
You
do
did.
3 right away.
I'm talking, and you're done with 2. I'm like, are you kidding me? I got to catch up now. This
Yeah,
is
you
terrible.
don't really hear much from me the first 2-3
No.
minutes of the podcast.
And you're like, I'm already this. And I'm like, well, I can't catch up when you're that far. But again, Brandon, thank you. We wish you could have made it. Hope you're feeling better. We appreciated the shirts. The hoodies that we got look awesome. We were very happy with them. Shiv, I have to actually give you one. I got an extra one if you want it.
I got 2 shirts.
No, I'll give you a hoodie, too. I got a sweet hoodie. The hoodies
Oh.
are badass.
Nice.
I got an extra one. So I can give you that after the show. And thank you. What are we doing now? We're doing the iced tea, Long Island.
Iced tea is up there.
This is legit because it's unsweetened,
Thank you.
Shib. So thank you again to Brandon for that. We got to take these shots because we have not yet. And we forget. The last few episodes we've forgotten. So do a shot. You just spilled yours. All right. So
Piece of shit.
it's all right. There are no paper towels are in the kitchen. Sorry, because or you can get some toilet paper out of the bathroom, whatever you want. Thank you to Steve at Savage and Associates. He paid for all the frickers and for the French fries and gave us the area to record episode 100.
That was a great spot.
Yeah, it was. I love that place. It's good for meetings, good for obviously a podcast. Had the big screen up there. Thank you again, Steve. And Steve came on for a little bit, talked about what he does. We appreciate the food. Did Wyatt get those wings down? You finished those?
Not yet.
Not yet. Well, we only had a little bit left.
Right.
That was kind of surprising.
Now, surprisingly, there's still a couple in my fridge, and they probably need to get tossed if they're not.
And when I came out of my 3-hour meeting with John Luke Commode, I noticed that there weren't many wings left. When I went in, there was a ton of food left. When I came out, there wasn't shit. And no people either. So,
No, the 3 of us cleaned up, and you weren't much help.
so
Bear and I did a lot of the straightening up. I hope we left the office in good shape.
yeah, I didn't. Steve asked what happened to me, and I told him, and he said, "You're my hero." And I'm like, no, I don't think that went off well for me. So again, Steve, thank you for that. Thank you to 30-6, old Sean over there, Crandall Squatting Lawn Care. He paid for all the beer, and there was a little bit left over. You had some extra, didn't you, that you kept and you gave me, I noticed, in the cooler.
No, we gave everything.
You gave
left
everything to Sean.
Yeah,
So there was only 16 beers left.
out of 174. So do the math.
Yeah, 158. And I gave you 2 of the Natter days,
Yep.
and then I gave the rest to Sean. So Sean was appreciative, and we're happy that he could be there. And, of course, Sean, we got to thank him. And 419-704-5471 serves the Toledo and surrounding area, and not.
There is nothing there. They don't even have grass where that dirt hit.
We're going to find the closest city here. What does that say?
Eulara,
Australia. So I noticed,
that looks beautiful.
ironically, we have quite a few listeners in Australia, and we can't thank them enough for listening, and we want to hear from you in Australia. So if you could tweet us, which it's at OTL Sports Pod.
OTL Sports Pod, yes, at OTL Sports Pod on Twitter.
We would appreciate any questions you have, anything you want to contribute. We're all for it. We're friends in Australia.
I think the 15 people in that picture are the entire population of Eulara, Australia.
There's an airport, it looks like, just
Those don't
north
look
of
like
that.
people. Those look like cacti
So there you go.
Yeah.
or trees.
Yeah, that's
Trees.
my bad. The screen's too far. Yeah.
It's a nice rock right there.
That is a great rock.
Ayers Rock, something like that.
That's we had a guy from Australia on our show one time, and he was telling me that he and his father drove through the outback, coast to coast, and you would see lights coming at you because it's all flat, but that other car wouldn't get to you maybe until 2 hours.
Jesus.
Just crazy.
That's insane.
I can't even imagine that.
So you're saying they don't have Uber?
Not through there, they don't.
Goodness.
So, Bear, let me give you the country list now of where we have people that listen. Different countries. United States, of course, is the biggest. Sweden, which a lot of that has to do with Spotify. Australia, the UK, Russia, Canada, Spain, Greece, Ireland, Iran, Morocco, Mexico, the Netherlands, and New Zealand.
I feel like we're very, I can't say European, but European.
See, my podcast is huge in Japan.
That's what you said. We don't have any listeners in Japan.
That's our second biggest audience. Outside of the U.S., it goes Japan and then Canada. So that's crazy to me that you guys don't have a huge Japanese listenership.
Well, I think we got to throw some more at Japan. Maybe we talk about baseball or something else.
Your wrestling podcast should do well there because they have a huge wrestling fan base. They have a huge baseball fan base, so the sports one should do well there too.
I guess we got to press it in Japan.
You should.
Speaking of which, because of our Facebook page, I have $10 in credit on our Facebook page that I can boost our episode 100 or any episode I feel like to a targeted population on Facebook. Maybe we'll target Japan.
Yeah, that'd be a solid target. I mean, they have money over there, right?
Yeah. We get some something from Japan.
And we have bases over there. I mean, we have a huge military base in Okinawa, so that would go well, I think, for your podcast.
Yeah, maybe we should do that. So
now I got a question though. If we played over there, does that translate? They get it on Spotify and listen. Does that translate for them?
It must. I mean,
right?
they listen to ours. So, and we talk about who would win in a fight, Mr. T or Mr. Potato Head. So.
Potato Head, of course. You can put him back together easily.
Right. He's the Humpty Dumpty of Hasbro toys.
Yes, he is. Thank you to Tim at Verizon. Verizon is a true technology business partner, helps local businesses deploy technologies that positively impact operations and can increase revenue for the company. So thank you to Tim over there at Verizon. And thank you to Cassandra. This is going to be my last one. Thanks to Cassandra at PNC. Call her, 419-877-0634. She can help you with all of your banking needs, whether it be loans, credit cards, or personal banking. She is there to help. So again, give her a call, 419-877-0634. So we already talked about episode 100. Overall, I think it was a success. We've talked about it for 9 months. Granted, I was gone for most of it, which is fine. Bear took over. You guys all did great when you guys did the grown-ups take over the podcast. The grown-ups are taking this over. And I like the discussion.
I have not gotten that far yet.
I like the discussion. It was good. And, yes, you can hear that people are drunk. There was a few times I could tell Bear was feeling it a little bit. I knew you were feeling it. I could hear that easily. Jeff, for sure, was fantastic. And Bear, how do you feel about Jeff hitting on your mom, saying, "Where's the blonde?"
Hey, that's okay. He's a good guy. I thought he was hilarious. Obviously, threw a couple jabs at him on that. And, yes, he could still kill me, but still put up a decent fight. But he was absolutely hilarious. He was awesome. I thought that was fantastic. Added to the comedy of the show, no doubt. Certainly entertainment. He's got a lot of great stories too.
Yeah, he's lived the most varied life of anybody I've ever met, and he's got a story for any situation, anytime. So bringing him on our show was probably the smartest thing we've done as a podcast.
And overall, he's just a good guy. And he's a great guy. He will help anybody. His wife's an amazing person, too. He's funny. His stories are great. I think you both are filling in, am I correct?
2 weeks?
In 2 weeks on the 21st, which is the first day of different things going on for all of us here.
Right. I got to get clearance from the tower on that one, but I think I should be okay.
And because Bear is going to be absent, you've got some work out of town. So hopefully right now we've got it scheduled that Security Jeff and the Shiv are going to be on. And that'll be a good fill-in for you. I mean, I'll miss you being here. But those guys will be great. We're talking about covering the AFC West because Denver is in the AFC West. So I want to hear more stories from Jeff because he talked about Peyton Manning. He talked about John Elway, how he's a dick. And so I want to hear some more stories about that because he's got some great stories. And I've heard a lot of them.
Von Miller.
Yeah, Von Mower.
Yeah.
Heard that. And then what did he say? His dog is Von Mastiff or?
No, his dog's name is Bronco. And he's it's a 200-pound Mastiff.
Yeah.
His other dog is I forget Bronco's full name, but and he's got a pit bull a bulldog named Dante, and Dante's got a full name as well. I forget.
Inferno.
Speaking of terrible movies,
but he's his lawnmower is orange, and it's Von Mower. So.
And he's got a badass mower.
Yeah, 0-turn radius.
Yeah, it's he sent a picture of it to us yesterday.
He's got a pretty big backyard with a creek that runs through it, so he needs something to take down a lot of lawn.
Needs all that 0-turn right there.
Yeah.
Yes, he does.
Von Mower.
So
does he rush off the edge of his house when he mows the grass there? I wonder if it does.
He rushes off the edge. He might.
Sacks a couple bunnies in the backyard, maybe. Who knows?
So it is. What is today? It is August 7th. So actually tonight. It already started, so it's probably on right now. I guess we should see. I'll just go one more channel over because I want to see if this is legit. Right now, currently on ESPN2, yes, it is legit, is ESPN 8, The Ocho. As you can see on the top right corner of the screen, they are doing ESPN 8, The Ocho for one day. They showed dodgeball at midnight. They had Spikeball College Championship, Big Buck World Championship, Lumberjack Championship, World Axe Throwing, Highland Games, stone skipping, chess boxing, whatever that is, professional arm wrestling, like all this stuff throughout the day. And right now, what is it? Lawnmower racing was on earlier. What's on right now?
Looks like they're climbing ice steps.
Yeah.
Slippery stairs, cornhole cups at 8. So we might catch the cornhole cup.
So these are stairs made of ice, and people are squirting water on the stairs with the projectile ice things water things that you give your kids in the pool.
Wow.
I don't know how you train for this other than to do it.
Yeah, so ESPN 8 The Ocho, obviously this is after dodgeball, paying homage to dodgeball, and they're doing it just this one day. So like we said, Slippery Stairs is what this is called. Then we got the WCO World Cornhole Cup, and after that we got the World Cup of Dodgeball, U.S. and Canada.
Well, you can pull people down. It's not just trying to get up the steps. You're sabotaging people. In this game.
This looks like something that I would play with my friends.
This looks like a lawsuit.
Alcoholic beverages.
Oh, this is terrible. These are all like frat guys.
Oh, yeah.
So you mentioned arm wrestling, and we're covering a movie later. I would like to be on the show if you ever cover Over the Top for your sports movie.
That might have to be one.
It's the most ridiculous premise ever, but I don't want to spoil my thoughts on it until you do it.
Save that.
Yeah.
So, Bear, what are your thoughts? You gave me a text a little bit earlier about this whole ESPN 8 The Ocho. What's your thoughts?
I mean, it's kind of dumb. I know the dodgeball stuff would be cool, the ultimate cornhole, whatever the hell they're playing, but slippery stairs, really? How about if we're going to do that, why don't we just have slip and slide flip cup? That would be better. I'd much rather see that. Teams doing that.
You know what I want to do sometime, and we should do it on the podcast, get the grown-ups out there. I saw that slip and slide kickball.
That looks like a broken neck or concussion.
I'm down for it.
The guys on my show would not do well at that. I can think of.
We can do slip and slide flip cup. I'm down for that. You guys did that, didn't you, at Beer Olympics?
Yeah.
Yeah, it looked fun.
Yeah, and someone broke their ankle. And,
maybe not.
I just played Flip Cup in Vegas a couple weeks ago.
What did I see? Like flip club. What was it, like tic-tac-toe flip? Something different with flip cup. I don't know what it was.
Yeah, flip cup, and your table's tic-tac-toe, so once you get it, you have to...
Oh, then you pick, right?
Yeah, then you pick. Yep.
That'd be interesting.
A lot of thinking.
The cornhole, I think, is fun to watch because if you think you're decent at cornhole, you just have to watch pro cornhole to realize how mediocre or less than mediocre you really are. These guys are on fire. They just drain them one after another. It's crazy.
Watching them go back and forth. And then they had one the other day where this guy had to pull off like the miraculous shot and knock 2 off and bank one in, and he did it, and everyone was freaking out about it. If I hit the board 4 times, I'm happy. Like, I'm good with that. These guys, if they don't hit the board one of the times out of every single one of their throws, they're almost in tears, it looks like sometimes, because they pretty much just lost. But it's actually kind of fun to watch.
Yeah, that's the one thing I've enjoyed about this, the Ocho experience. The sports that are kind of marginalized, I guess, sports.
Yeah, I don't know what's going on right now. Something about kilts.
No, but you can
Kilt rental.
I mean, I think most sports enthusiasts would agree that you do get tired of seeing the same stuff all the time. It is nice.
I can watch football all the time, though.
That's football's football.
Yeah.
Outside of football, though, it's kind of nice to have a little bit of variety.
Okay. I can agree to that.
I don't want to turn on ESPN and see baseball, college baseball, Little League World Series. It gets boring.
Spelling bees. Can we not have spelling bees on sport networks? Can we just get rid of that?
I never watched. I think maybe when I was younger I might have watched it, but ever since then, no. Can't do the Scripps National Spelling Bee. It's terrible.
It is. And didn't they have like an eight-way tie for first this year? Something
like
stupid.
that. Yeah, it just kept going. But yeah, I can't watch that on the sports net. That's not why I tune in. Put that on a different channel.
I agree. So just on the Twitter, Shiv, I don't know if you know much about this. So Bear played me a video earlier, and it's Steve Smith talking about fantasy football and DJ Moore being benched over who?
So Steve Smith went up to Cam Newton talking about his fantasy football lineup, jokingly, being Steve Smith, and said, should I put in John Brown? There was another wide receiver, I can't remember, whoever, over DJ Moore, who last year at the time was a rookie for the Carolina Panthers, while DJ Moore was standing right behind him. And that's what made it so funny, because he was talking about it. And Cam's like, come on, man, that's disrespectful.
Yeah.
Going in on a lot. And then he ends up going up to DJ Moore and saying,
you're going to give me 2 points.
Do I, if I put you in my lineup, better not give me 2 points or I'll whoop your ass or something like that.
I'm just going to do it.
It was pretty funny.
Justin on the Twitter's question in regards to that, what are your thoughts on Steve Smith Sr.? Are you taking what he's throwing down when it comes to fantasy football? Any hidden gems people should be taking? So am I taking what he's throwing down? I think it was just a joke and a ploy, and he's playing with people. Any hidden gems this year? I mean, there's some,
I mean, if you don't want to give them, you don't have to give them.
No, you can give them. I mean, that doesn't matter.
DJ Moore is a hidden gem.
DJ Moore is a hidden gem, and you can, if you follow the Steelers and see whatever happens, and you know this for the past 10 years with Ben Roethlisberger, whoever that second receiver is, always does well.
Should be James Washington this year. He was the third, fourth last year, who kind of was up and coming. Obviously, Antonio Brown's gone. Juju's your number one, so certainly James Washington would be there. Oh, goodness. Any other hidden gems? I mean, off the top of my head, right now, it's a little bit too early. I mean, it's kind of tough.
If you were picking from the Browns, okay, would you take Landry or Beckham?
Beckham.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Do you think Landry is a solid second?
Absolutely. I mean, he's a possession receiver, but last year he also his catches went down from before, but he also has a quarterback who can throw the ball downfield, and not Ryan Tannehill who can throw it 5 yards. Right. So it's a little bit different. Jarvis is still great in underneath routes and crossing routes, but he doesn't quite have the burst downfield experience. He's really good at running routes, shorter routes, intermediate routes. That's what he's fantastic at. So Jarvis Landry is still going to catch 80-plus balls this year, no doubt. But OBJ is going to be your big playmaker, and so is Njoku. You want a hidden gem? There you go. He wasn't really a hidden gem, but Njoku's gotten lost in that offense with Jarvis, Chubb, and now OBJ there with Baker. He's still a monster tight end. It's his second year, I think, if I'm not mistaken. I think he was a rookie last year.
Right.
And he has potential to be a top 3 tight end in the NFL this year.
What about Damian Harris, New England running back?
I mean, New England's gonna have 76 running backs, and they make all of them good. I can't do anything with that.
So
it's tough.
I'm just looking
It's
at
a football factory. I mean, you can't. Their system works.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Now, the second running back in Kansas City is going to be Carlos Hyde this year. Do you think he's a decent 2 or maybe flex option for people?
I mean, I'm sure he is. He's getting older and older. He's always just had fumbling problems. But I think Damian Williams is still going to be that workhorse who's going to run twice, still be the third down back, and catch balls out of the backfield because he can do that, especially with Mahomes. But yeah, I mean, Carlos Hyde is viable. 500 yards rushing, maybe 4 touchdowns. That'd be a solid backup year for him.
What about
what stinks about him is the transition that he's made from college to the NFL. I think Ohio State fans like myself maybe expected more, and he hasn't really delivered on what we saw from him in college. But that's not to say he's a bad go-to.
Right.
I wish Cleveland still had him, but. I'll take Chubb all day. So
you'll take Chubb all day, and now you've got
Kareem.
Kareem Hunt, yeah.
Later.
Game 9, yeah.
Yeah, but that'll be.
Well, I mean, Duke Johnson's still there.
Johnson's great,
and
yeah.
Duke's always a good pass catcher, and he still catch 50 balls.
Now, what about Kiki Kuti?
If he can stay healthy, man. I mean, he would be a great 2 behind Hopkins there in Houston, but he's got to stay healthy. He's a small receiver, man, and that's tough in the NFL when you're 5'8", 150 pounds, fast as shit, but you get hit once by a 250-pound dude, you're donezo.
All right, I've got a few more for you. 1 wide receiver and 3 tight ends. DK Metcalf.
Oh, man. I mean, Russell can throw, but he's going to be someone who, I mean, unless he gets his route running there, he's going to be somebody who is going to be a jump ball guy in the end zone, like they did with Jimmy Graham, Right. I think that's more what he'll be until he can run some routes.
We'll New England's new tight end, is it Matt LaCosse?
I don't even know, to be honest with you.
I think that's who it is. We'll see. Gronk's retired. And then you got 2 Iowa boys, Hawkinson for Detroit and Font for the Broncos.
No, I watched a little bit of Noah Fant, because he was in the Hall of Fame game. He had a couple holding penalties, but also had a couple of great catches and great routes. So, and it wasn't with Flacco, it was with Drew Lock, I think, who's the backup there. So it looks like they have a little bit of chemistry. He certainly needs to work on his run blocking, though. There's no doubt about it. But some of those routes that he ran and balls that he caught, I think he might have had 3 catches for like 31 yards or something like that, which for a preseason game is pretty good. He gets that blocking down, and I'm sure as he practices with Flacco, they'll have a good repertoire together because they like their tight ends in Denver.
I agree. And eventually, by the way, we're going to have Jeremy's going to give us our trivia questions for the week. I think we're tied. That paper's over there under that artwork. But before then, I kind of want to talk about, I know I told you about it. I know you said you didn't watch it. Shiv, I don't know if you watched it, but the basketball tournament is what it was called. You probably know nothing about it.
Nope.
So the championship game was last night, and it was Carmen's crew, which is all Ohio State players, former Ohio State players. So you had John Diebler, Aaron Kraft. The coach was Jared Sullinger. Evan Turner was the assistant. Scooney Penn used to be the coach, and it was all Buckeyes. They used to play, except one guy went to, I think, Otterbein. But everybody else from Ohio, it was fun to watch, fun to see. William Buford was out there, right?
Yes.
He made the clutch 2 free throws at the end. And I'll talk about this. They played Marquette. They was in Chicago, and they played all former Marquette players. And what happens is...
Except Dwayne Wade.
Except Dwayne Wade?
He went to Marquette.
Well, yeah, but he didn't play, obviously. I know what you're saying.
You said all Marquette players. I said except
Former
Dwayne Wade.
Marquette players were on that team. Sorry.
Just saying.
Yes, sir. And so what they do, I don't know if you know how they do their ending. So they have this thing called the Elam ending, which is when they get to 4 minutes left in the game, whatever the score is. So let's say yesterday, I believe it was 58-57. So there was 3:57 left. Ohio State calls timeout. So what happens is they were up 58-57. So now it's the first to get to 66. They had 8 points to whoever's winning, and they have to get to that. So whoever gets there first wins, because 66 is the ending number. Mm-hmm. So what happened was they came out. They had a turnover. They were going back and forth, and then eventually Ohio State got a couple steals, and then at the end they fouled Buford. And right before he was going to the line, they were up 64-60, I think, and they said, he's not missed a foul shot all tournament. I'm like, of course you would say that. And they were playing for $2 million, which is big.
Yeah.
So they split $2 million. Buford makes the first one, makes the second one. Carmen's crew wins. And I think it was the what's Marquette's name? Like the
Golden Eagles, I think.
Golden Eagles, yeah, that sounds right. And
William Buford is the pride of Toledo, Ohio, isn't he?
Yes, went to Libby. And he was very good here, went to Ohio State. And
I always used to call him Damon because I would think of why I thought of Damon Buford, I don't know. But then I think of Big Buford from Rallies, and then I'd get excited.
Big Buford?
So.
Yeah. And I think of Forrest Gump, Benjamin Buford Blue, like shrimp, coconut shrimp, shrimp kebab, shrimp scampi, shrimp stew, shrimp salad, shrimp and potatoes. But so they won. And their jerseys were awesome. I was telling you about it. So it says Carmen's Crew. You know why they have the name Carmen, obviously. But the
San Diego?
Yes. And the M on the jersey had a big X through it because of Michigan. So you don't have an M
That's
anywhere.
Good right there. I like that.
So that was pretty solid. They took down a team that had won the last 4 out of 5 years, my dad said, and they had won like 40 games in a row. And Ohio State took them out before they made it to the championship.
Good.
So the basketball tournament looked really fun. I only watched last night's game, and that was it. And the Carmen's Crew won. So all Buckeyes. And we're happy to see that. And go Buckeyes, of course.
Absolutely.
All right. So did you happen to see – I've got a few random things that kind of fill in here, and I'll just talk about them. I took screenshots of them as we were going. I want to get your thoughts, and we can get the thoughts of Shiv here too, whatever he thinks. So – I'm going to scroll back over to the first one and the Christmas Day games for the NBA. I know we got a while out, but we've got Clippers, Lakers, Pelicans, Nuggets, Celtics, Raptors, Bucks, 76ers, Rockets, Warriors. Pick a game. Which one you watching? Only one.
Clippers, Lakers.
I did the same, yeah.
Yeah.
I'm disappointed they didn't put the Knicks on there, though.
They're trash.
I'm just saying the Knicks are always on. I mean, yeah, but that's like taking the Lions off of Thanksgiving. The Lions are trash, but the Lions play every Thanksgiving.
This is true.
How great would it be to live in Los Angeles right now in terms of the NBA quality? Because for years, I think we all remember the Clippers just absolutely sucking.
Yes.
And the Lakers were good. And now the Lakers have been hit or miss, but they're expected to do well this year. Clippers are expected to do possibly better this year. So if you live in LA, I mean, you got it made when it comes to basketball.
Oh yeah, it's going to be a great year for them as long as everyone stays healthy. I think the Clippers have the slight edge with Kawhi and Patrick Beverly there, but you can never count out LeBron James.
No.
And half a year Anthony Davis.
Agreed.
As long as it's the correct half of the year, they'll be tough to beat.
They will be. All right, so fun stat here. After starting 0-3 to begin the 1990-1991 season, Michael Jordan never lost 3 consecutive games in a single season again as a member of the Bulls.
Wow.
629 games.
What about the Barons?
They did pretty
Where's
shitty
that
there.
stat at?
I don't know if they have that stat.
How'd he do for the Wizards?
Not as good. So Vince Carter, I think we all know who Vince Carter is returning to the Atlanta Hawks. He's 42. He's actually older, I just saw this too, than Trae Young's dad.
Jesus.
Which is crazy. Trae Young is the star of the Hawks.
Yeah.
And so if Vince Carter plays a game after January 1st, 2020, which he should, he will be the first player in NBA history to play in 4 different decades.
Wow.
I saw that. That was insane, and I think he signed for another year. I thought I saw, right?
So all he's got to do is play in January of 2020, which, this is this coming season, and 4 decades, 90s, 2000s, 10s, 20s. 4 decades. That's crazy.
You got to time that just right in terms of when you start.
End of the
and your
90s would be-
playing
yeah, yeah.
I
career.
mean, you start in 99, it's about perfect. And I think he was, 97, 98? Right there,
Yeah,
right?
I think so.
So, and he'll probably be the only person to dunk in an NBA game in 4 decades as well, would be my guess, if I had to take one.
And so we got a couple college basketball things here. So Evan Mobley told ESPN, or told Paul Biancardi, that he will attend USC. So he's the number 1 2020 recruit in basketball. And he's going to join his father, who's an assistant coach, and his brother Isaiah, who is a freshman at USC.
Okay.
Keep it in the family.
Interesting. I feel like they haven't been relevant in basketball since O.J. Mayo was there.
I agree.
But isn't that what you're looking for as a kid, that to go into a program that they're going to build it around you, and then you can transition that into an NBA career pretty easily?
Yeah, I agree.
I would certainly think so.
Especially if you're at USC. I mean, that's a great market for basketball already.
Yep.
So.
The next thing I have here in college is Amani Bates is not just the number 1 prospect in the 2022 class. He's the best prospect in high school basketball right now. So he's a sophomore, going to be a sophomore, right? 20, 21, 22. Yeah, he's going to be a sophomore.
I saw they had him. They said he was the 4th highest ranked recruit or something
Yep.
like that.
Tied for
Tied
third with
since
Anthony Davis
since
and Derrick
LeBron.
Rhodes.
Yeah,
And
which
he's
is
only
crazy.
a sophomore.
Yeah.
So he'll be number 1. Well, number 1 is Durant,
And where's he from?
and number 2 is Greg Oden.
Where's he part of the country here?
I do not know.
It doesn't have his high school up there, like where he's at right now.
I'll just Google him. How about that?
It makes it even better.
Amani Master Bates. We're going to find him. He's 15 years old. That is young. He is a kid. Gosh. So high school, I'm trying to find him right now, see where he's at. South Carolina.
South Carolina.
Right.
Interesting. That's I mean, you're right there at the Duke, North Carolinas of the world, right?
Right.
For college. If
they're
they still
still
have to
there.
go there 1 year by the time he's going. We'll see, because it sounds like they'll change that back again here soon.
So as a freshman, he was 6'8.5", 186 pounds. Nope, I'm sorry. He's not in South
stick.
Carolina. They reported this in South Carolina. He's from Ypsilanti, Michigan.
Okay.
We should try to go watch him play.
If we can. If he's still playing up there, we should go watch him.
Yeah, I mean, that's a 45-minute drive. I mean, that'd be worth it.
Yeah, to see him.
See a potential
And then we're
stud.
going to see so during his game on Friday, he dropped 32 and 12. This is last year. Only power programs there to recruit him were Michigan State and Michigan. All 20 minutes from Ann Arbor. Wow. That is,
I think Holtman needs to make the trek up there.
yeah, we're going to, man, that'll be amazing to see what happens. And then you got Bronny, who's 14, right?
Yeah.
Bronny James, LeBron Jr.
Yeah, he's going to be freshman this year.
Yeah, he's gonna be something else too. I mean, he won't be his dad, but he's gonna be good.
Talent's there.
Did you watch the race this past weekend?
No, I did not.
NASCAR.
No.
What was it? The Glen?
Yes, it was the Glen.
So it was at the Glen. Chase Elliott won, but I think the highlight of that was Bubba Wallace getting into it with Kyle Busch. Made Brandon very happy. I liked seeing it. I love Kyle Busch, but Bubba Wallace spun his ass right out. He did not give a shit, and then he was going off on a tirade, swearing at Kyle Busch. So, hey, I give him credit.
I mean, they were going at each other. They certainly were. And, Kyle, he finally got what was coming to him. He races hard, and someone else got him and spun him out. And I didn't see anything. I don't know if Bush got pissed or anything like that. But, what can you do at that point? You're the guy that does all that shit. You're the bad boy. So you got a little taste of your own medicine, and I hope he took it with pride. And I would guess that he probably spins Bub out this week in Michigan.
You think so?
I think he might.
Oh,
There's still always payback.
Yeah, there's always payback in this. And so what do you think is we got to pick from Brandon? It's at Michigan. So let me give the updated standings first off. We've got 4 races left until we can repick people again. And Brandon is ahead at 14.9 is his average. And so he's sitting at 327. I'm at 16 even. So I am at 353. And I said he's at 327, so he's only 26 spots ahead.
Yeah.
That's not bad.
No, it's not.
So DiBenedetto, I need him to wreck and go from there. And you're at 16.7, which is 368. So not too bad. I don't think it's too bad. 327 to 368, so you're talking one race between you and Brandon. I can get it depending on what place my guy finishes. He took Matt DiBenedetto. Do you know who you're going to take?
Yeah, I guess it's going to be the best time to use him. So I'm going to go with Chase Elliott for a back-to-back this week. I wish I would have used him last week, like an idiot.
What an idiot!
Yeah, I got to use him. So he races well in Michigan. I hopefully should be able to get a top 5 out of him.
I'm going to take Ryan Newman.
Okay.
I haven't used him yet. Solid pick there. He finished 8th in the July race, or June race, excuse me. So I'm going to take Ryan Newman.
And he won here in 03 and 04, so he's won at this track before, but something that was dominated by Kyle Larson a couple years ago. He hasn't been up there here lately.
Right.
So can't wait for another exciting Michigan race.
Yay. But what's next weekend, Bear?
Next weekend is Bristol.
And who's going to be there?
I'm going to be there. Are you going to be there?
And Dave Portnoy.
Well, we'll see if he's going to be there.
Yeah, he says he is, but yes, I will be there. And then we'll have
find some pizza.
Big and Tasty and Beer League will also be with us.
Yeah.
So it'll be a good time. Looking forward to that.
It should be a pretty fun time. I'd say so. Big and Tasty sent me. Did he send you the snap of his shirt?
I don't think I have him on Snap.
He got the old Ricky Bobby shirt. He's gonna wear that day. So yeah, classy.
Who got that? Nick?
Cody.
Yeah, I'm not friends with Cody there. But so he got
if
the
you ain't
Wonder Bread
if you
shirt.
ain't first, you're last. Oh yeah.
I have a Ricky Bobby shirt. I think it just says Ricky Bobby. I don't know what it says. I got it at Walmart.
Yeah. If you ain't first, you're
Real
last.
nice. Got it at Walmart.
That's gonna be his NASCAR shirt, so it'll be pretty good.
$6 investment, I'm sure.
Yeah, it was. Yeah, $6 or $4.99 or $7.50. It was good. All right, so let's go to NASCAR, or not NASCAR. We just did NASCAR golf. Am I still drunk?
You might be.
PGA. So this last week, Webb Simpson finished second, which is who Brandon had. Patrick Reed finished 22nd, and I had Hideki Matsuyama, who finished 82nd. Wonderful. Thank you, Hideki.
Missed the cut. Yikes.
So the updated standings, I'm at 29.9, and I'm going to scroll this down for 898 total. Barry, you're at 33.2, by the way. 898. Brandon is at 975. So an 82 and a win would put us together. And you are at 997.
Okay, I'm not out of it.
You are not. And where are they playing this week? You want to tell us about, or what happened? Well, who won last week? Somebody I don't know.
Shit, I don't even remember. I'm not gonna lie.
I have no idea.
Who did win last week? Let me look this up.
All right. And then while you're doing that, you want to talk about the Northern Trust, what's going on, how many events are left?
Yeah, so this is the second leg of the PGA Tour FedEx Cup. So these are the top 125 golfers in the FedEx Cup are playing this week, so there will be a cut. The top 70 go to next week play at the BMW Championship. So there's going to be a lot of people fighting for spots up there. You do that math, 125 minus 70. And, it's if you get cut this week and you're in the top 70, close to around that, you're going to start sweating a little bit. And these guys these guys lower down here who are from 70 to 125, they got to play. And you got some decent names in there. Charlie Hoffman sitting at 71. You got Johnny Vegas sitting at 78. Russell Henley. You got Brandon Grace. I just saw Rafael Cabrera Bello was sitting at like 122.
Really?
And he is expected to have his first child this week, so he is out. So he is not even golfing this week, so he will not be making it to the BMW Championship at all. So that's another guy who's, pretty much a spot that's going to be open there for all these other golfers to go ahead and go, they got to play tough this week. And this is where it starts getting crazy because the FedEx Cup, man, that's a lot of money right there. And the only other one, the biggest name probably on this who's down at the list, Paul Casey. That's a guy who can get hot here in the next couple tournaments and start making it into other tournaments as he keeps going. So I wouldn't be shocked if you see him up there and see him barely make his way to the BMW and possibly get into the top 30. But that'll be tough to do from the 123rd spot right now. And JT Poston won at the Wyndham Championship.
Interesting.
By the way, his first PGA Tour win. And Let's see where that.
I'm gonna take Brandon's taking Rory McIlroy, one of the favorites. I'm gonna take another favorite, but not somebody at the top, not Dustin Johnson, not Brooks Koepka or Koepka is his real name. I'm gonna take Jon Rahm. I hope he plays aggressive. He usually does here, and I'm gonna stick with him. I've got to just 3 events to not fuck up, so that I don't choke and have the biggest choke in our history of picking teams, because I had a humongous lead.
Yeah, and Jon Rahm is sitting 9th right now in the FedEx Cup. So Jon Rahm has to, he's got to win tournaments to get to that one spot. And I mean, that's $15 million on the line. So even though he's sitting in that 9 spot, I mean, you still got to play. You still got to catch Brooks Koepka because he's going to be getting points here. And Rahm is sitting, fast math, 1,400 points, give or take, away from Brooks Koepka.
And 500 for a win, right?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
And so here's what happened in the last 2 weeks. So in the last 2 weeks, I've had 102 points. So I'm 80-some ahead of Brandon. I've had 102 points the last week. Brandon had 3. So I had him destroyed. I was 180 points ahead of him, and with 3 events left, I'm only 90 points ahead of him.
He's catching fire right now.
So if Rory wins and Rahm misses the cut, it's 1 and 82, and then it's going to come down to 2 weeks left. I'm only 10 ahead.
Yeah.
I was far ahead. It's bad. They're catching me for golf. We do average where they finish.
Right.
So it's I've had some missed cuts lately. In my last 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 events, I've had 4 missed cuts, a 65th, a 20th, and a 10th. And a 21st before that. And then my win. So since my win, the best finish my guys have had is 20th.
Yeah. I mean, you
in
need
8 weeks, 2 months.
If you get a top 10 this week, you're pretty much locked in. You'll be all right.
If I get a top 10, I'll be okay. Because last week I'm taking Koepka because he's going to start out 10 under as of right now. Mm-hmm. So it's, more than likely I'm taking Koepka regardless. So all I need is this week to do well, and then I'm pretty much a shoo-in.
Well, if
it's a big if.
You need it. I mean, like you said, there's only 30 spots left in the Tour Championship. So,
and I didn't want to be a dick and take Rory because I think that's fucked because that's just playing keep away essentially. And plus, I should have picked first anyway.
Oh, and also if you think that he's going to win, then pick him. Who cares?
No, I'm going to go with Rahm because I'm not, like you said, I'm not big on Rory. When I take him, he doesn't really do that well. And that's kind of what's happened to you. See, he missed a cut when I took him earlier this year. He won. He was my last win. He finished 8th and 2nd. So he's finished 1st, 2nd, 8th, and 82nd.
Yeah, I'm not taking a guy who is close to the top like you two are.
Okay.
I'm taking someone who's a little bit closer to that BMW cut line. He's inside of it. He's 67th right now in the FedEx Cup, but he's still a big name, and that's Jordan Spieth.
Nice.
That's who I'm going to take this week. I think Jordan.
He's going 50-1 odds.
I think Jordan goes top 10 this week for sure, and solidifies that spot as he goes top 10 into the top 30 for the Tour Championship. When he also plays well at the BMW, I think he's going to come on hot here in the last 3 tournaments.
50-1, that's a good bet.
Yeah,
right
it is.
now.
For Spieth, yeah, hell yeah, it would be.
Yeah.
Throw $10 on it, $500.
Yeah.
So if we had sports betting here, which we don't yet, but when we do, we're going to be doing pick'em and hopefully you're here for most of that when we start picking NFL, and it's going to be us 3 and Brandon. We will include Brandon, but he'll be the sort of counts, sort of doesn't. We don't know because he's going to be so busy. Because we'll be doing the ESPN challenge like normal, and we'll give away some swag if somebody can beat us throughout the year. But if they have sports betting, what Bear and I talked about doing is going down and just laying down a sports bet. Bet on the teams because we always end up over 500, so we're going to have a plus. So we're talking bet $10 on a game every week. And so if there's 16 games, $160 first week, split it, 40 apiece, and then use our winnings each week to just, and it might be at 160. Was what we'll end up back at, but just keep spending it every week, and then we're going to put one, like, what did we say, $10 on a parlay if we hit all 16 games? This is a huge win.
Yeah, absolutely.
What was the close? The closest we were last year was like 14-2. But still, all it takes is 1 week of being 16-0, and we got money in the bank.
Should still come out okay at the end of off of $10 to start, right?
Yeah, because that was my record's on the left. That was 151, 87, and 2.
Do we have, because that was...
Overall, we had 152. I
was about to say.
We actually had one better than me.
Yeah, that's what I thought.
Yeah, as a group. So, as a group, we were 152, 87, and 2. Or 86 and 2.
And what's the win-loss on that one? I can't do that quick math. 152 to 87. Quick math.
Oh, it was 86, so it'd be 66.
So 66
Wow.
times 10.
Yeah,
$660 we would have
we
banked
would have been up.
last year if we just put 10
Amongst
on.
4 guys. If we all put 40
every
in
game
the
straight
beginning,
up.
it would have been up 660, so it would have been, almost $150 each, a little more than 150.
Yeah, let's do that.
Yeah, and once they have sports betting in Ohio, we can. That's the goal.
Or we just fly to Vegas every week and do it.
Oh, yeah.
Sure, Shiv would be down for that.
I would. God, I would love to.
You've gone how many times this year? You went twice in a month, didn't you?
Yeah, I went twice. I went and came back, and then 2 weeks later, I was back out there again.
That's fantastic. So we've got Jeremy got to us.
Well, hold on a second. We need to, really quick, before we get off the golf topic and we do
Yes.
that, we got to pick our champion, FedEx Cup champion.
Kepka.
And Brandon took Kepka.
Correct.
See, since this doesn't count for a quote-unquote championship, I pulled Tiger out of my ass last year and almost won. I was one hole away from winning, just like Tiger was
We
one
all
hole away
hoped.
from not getting caught. I'm not going that much further down, but I love Xander Schauffele.
Dude, I love X-Man.
Give me Xander Schauffele.
I love that pick.
He's a little over 1,000 points off, but if Brooks stumbles here and Xander, who finishes top 10 to top 20 a lot, is going to pick up points quick, you never know. And he could, he gets hot on weekends quite a bit. Saturdays and Sundays, man, I don't know what it is, but dude shooting 4 or 5 under a lot. So I'm going to go with Xander Schauffele to take it home.
What about you? Pick a golfer.
I like Brooks.
Yeah.
Okay. Do you?
It's hard
So
to bet
do you
against
understand
that.
what they're doing with the Tour Championship now?
Yeah,
The last tournament of the year,
Yeah,
where you start ahead. Like he's going to start. What'd you say? 10 under?
based on how well you've performed. Yeah.
Whoever's first starts 10 under
Yep.
at that
Right.
event. That's crazy.
Which
I like it. It makes sense because it gets guys to play more throughout the year because they'll
Right.
just skip,
Right.
win a couple events and skip out.
I just put in a quick DraftKings one, and I can't even believe I got this lineup. DeChambeau, Fowler, Kisner, Schauffele, Spieth, Matt Wolff.
Holy shit.
Mark it.
I like it.
I might win $10 off that.
I'm going to try that out later. All right. So, Jeremy, before we get into some baseball, Jeremy has his trivia questions. You got the paper ready?
No.
Okay. Who holds the record in the NBA for most career blocked shots?
most career block shots.
Correct. Your pen's in there. It should be on the top. What are we at? We're tied
Is
4-4.
Is it somebody within the last 10 years, or are you
I
going
don't
to
know.
give me
It's all
some
time.
sort of?
I have no idea. He doesn't give me the answer. He's live right now with us. I don't know the answer.
Some
So
sort of Dikembe Mutombo bullshit.
could be. So you say Mutombo. I'm going Wilt to Stilt.
What was the question one more time? Sorry.
Who holds the record in the NBA for most career block shots? So we got Wilt,
I'll go with Dikembe.
Man.
Kembe.
I like Dikembe also, but that seems like it'd be too obvious. But I'm going Mutombo. I think that's a good choice. I do.
If you tell me it's Rodman, I'm going to throw the microphone at the TV.
Here we go. He just read it. Hakeem Olajuwon.
Ooh,
Good.
Good.
that's a good pick.
question.
Should have.
That is I wouldn't have thought him.
Hakeem the Dream.
Well, I picked the right continent. Does that count?
No. This is a good one. We're all Buckeyes fans here. What NFL team is Terrell Pryor currently on?
I kind of want to say Pittsburgh, but
I'm going to put Steelers.
The last I totally recall, and he may still be there, the Jets.
I feel like when you wash out of the Browns, Steelers take you for their third
I'm
or
gonna
fourth.
I'm gonna say the Bengals, and you're saying the Jets.
Yeah.
Steelers, Bengals, Jets. Let's see the answer. He's typing.
Typing.
Jacksonville Jaguars.
Wow.
Jesus.
We'll see now if he makes the team. Next.
The Jags.
Nice.
Okay, so far we're all 0 for 2.
Yeah, we're not doing pretty
I
good.
added Shiv to the list, too.
Good. Shiv's on the list.
Unfortunately, you're 4 behind, so you're going to have to catch up.
That's okay. Because if it's something that we think we all know the answer, we usually do a 1, 2, 3 shout it out.
I'll put an asterisk next to Shiv.
Asterisk. Okay. This one is the toughest. Well, that's great.
Jesus.
Tough ones tonight.
Awesome.
Zach Greinke is one of 4 active pitchers with more than 1 ERA title. Name the other 3 who have led their league more than once. Each one correct is 1 point.
Oof. Sandy Koufax. Greg Maddux.
So Greg Maddux.
Are these starters?
One of four active pitchers.
Oh,
active.
shit.
So you're out. No, you're good. With more than one ERA title.
Active pitchers.
Active pitchers.
Give me Clayton Kershaw.
That's one for me.
Max Scherzer.
That was another.
And Justin Verlander.
He's not my other one. Not Verlander, but Noah Syndergaard for me.
Okay. Thor.
What about you? I got Scherzer, Syndergaard, and Clayton Kershaw. And you said
Kershaw, Scherzer, Verlander.
Yeah, I like Verlander too. So I'll take actually Bears 3.
I like it.
Bears 3. Let's see if he gives us an answer. Answers, please. Kershaw. 5 times. So that's we're only getting one, by the way. King Felix Hernandez, 2010 and 14. David Price, 2012 and 2015.
Okay.
Nice.
Wow. Yeah. I mean, Price, the last couple of years has sucked, but yeah, I mean, in Tampa and in Boston, he always had he had a lower ERA. And then certainly Hernandez. Fuck, I forgot about that. Seattle, they didn't score runs for the poor guy. Should have said Corey Kluber, too. It would have been close. There's a lot of potential pitchers that were out there that could have done that.
He said, that's it for tonight. I'll have some more next week.
Okay.
I like this segment, adding Jeremy to the sports show.
You know, it's funny because my dad says that he likes the way we do it because he has a chance to yell at it when he's listening to it in the car. So, yeah. And he goes, I can't remember which trivia question it was. It was maybe the first time that we did it, and he was like yelling it, and we both got it wrong. And he goes, you guys are idiots. It's like, thanks, Dad.
Show trivia if available. I'm going to see if he is a night for the wrestling show. We can have him on the wrestling show to do some trivia for us. So baseball. We're going to talk about this. I don't know if you saw this. This cracked me up to no end. So your Justin Bieber's fake cousin, what is it, Sugar Shane Bieber? Is that right for the Indians?
Yeah, Shane Bieber.
Shane Bieber plays for the Indians, and I got to go back and find this.
I think I know what you're going back on.
Yes, you do. Here we go. So his Topps baseball card. I'm going to read it to you. Until Bieber did it in 2018, no Indians pitcher in 54 years have logged 6 or more strikeouts in each of his first 3 big league appearances. Justin was particularly comfortable on the road, where he whatever his record was 7-0.
Yeah.
So and he tweets back, he says nice smiley face at Topps. Topps says, is it too late to say sorry?
That and the thing is how many have ever those printed? Who knows? That is now going to be worth money because anytime Topps, I don't know a lot about baseball cards, but I know that when Topps or these big companies fuck up, that card is automatically worth money.
Yes,
but not as much as it used to be. There's a really good documentary I just watched like 2 weeks ago where it takes a look at what happened with the baseball card industry. It's worth your time.
Where was it at? Where did you find that at?
I think it was on Netflix.
Okay, cool.
Yeah, it's a Canadian filmmaker, and he documents going and tracking down what happened to baseball cards and why the industry kind of killed itself. It cannibalized itself throughout the early 90s and late 80s when everyone thought they were going to send their kids to college with their baseball card collection.
Yeah. I know that there was, I think I still have a Hank Aaron somewhere sitting there. Who knows where it's at, and that's probably the most valuable one I had. And I used to buy, and this was late 90s probably when I was younger, 8, 9, 10, that I would go to the store and buy the little $3 book you could look up the prices.
The Beckett?
Yep,
yeah,
the Beckett. Look up the
Monthly.
prices of the card.
My dad had a shitload of them. My dad had so much stuff that he had to get rid of because he had a problem back in the day. And one of the things that I was pissed off that he got rid of, he had 2 Mickey Mantle baseballs that were autographed. He had a Roger Maris photo that was autographed and a Marison Mantle photo that was autographed. And he got rid of them all, but he had 20 Derek Jeter rookie cards. So he got the most money he could out of them then, but it just sucked.
Yeah, they wouldn't be worth nearly as much today as they were 20 years ago, 30 years ago, really.
That was great. So another stat that I wanted to give is home runs against a team in a single season, just because this is going on right now. This is big. Currently, So most home runs versus a single opponent in a season, MLB history. So fourth place, overall all time, 1956 Reds had 44 home runs against the Dodgers in the year. 2017, the Yankees had 46 home runs against the Orioles. This year, the Yankees have 47 home runs against the Orioles, and they play them, I think, either 4 or 6 or 7 more times.
Just spanking them.
Yeah, they hit 6 last night. And then in 1956, Yankees again, 48 home runs against the A's. So all they got to do is hit 2 home runs against the Astros, which is going to happen, and they beat their own record for most home runs in a single season.
Congrats for beating up on the second worst team in baseball.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
How about the Red Sox? They're falling apart, aren't they?
I love it. Love every minute of it. This is you always go over baseball standings every week, and I always zone out because I don't give a shit about baseball like I used to.
Right.
Just looking, there's not a lot of tight division races this year, which is a little bit disappointing.
Wild card's tight.
It is, but there's 3 divisions that have, well, I guess technically the Rays are 9.5 out, but 4 divisions, but 3 divisions that have any sort of a race right now.
Yankees aren't going to lose that division.
No.
But in the wild card, the Indians have the first wild card spot, the Rays second, and then Athletics are only a half game out. So I think the Red Sox are done.
And the Tribe's only 2 off of Minnesota right now.
Right.
But the A's aren't going to overtake Houston, and Tampa is not going to overtake New York. So they're going harder for the wild card, where the Indians are going for the wild card and the Central.
And the Yankees, don't forget, are doing this with their AAA team. It's essentially who's all playing right now have become their starters. And their AAA team in AAA is actually first in the International League, and they're all AA players. So good farm system, good to see. It'll be interesting, but here's what gets me. The MLB, the NL wild card, Washington's a game and a half up from third place, which is the Cardinals. So Washington's up, Phillies are there. They're a game ahead of St. Louis, the Brewers, and the Mets. The Mets came out of nowhere. They've won 6 in a row. They're 9-1 in their last 10. When we covered this 2 weeks ago, they were 6.5 out of the wild card. They are now 1. Damn. Their pitching's coming together. Their hitting's finally coming together. They figured out their bullpen. It's great because it's a lot better. Because earlier in the year, I think it was a month or 2 ago, we looked at what's been going on blown save-wise. The Mets had 31 blown saves at that time. 31. And the next team had 18 blown saves. That is insane. The Mets are a good team. They have solid, Alonso, the rookie. He won the home run derby.
Pete Alonso, yes.
Pete Alonso, he's got 36 home runs this year. He's a rookie. He won, $1 million to win the home run derby, and his salary this year is $500,000.
Yeah. Yes.
So, incredible.
Yeah, and I was just looking at the Indians' schedule. They actually have 4 coming up in Minnesota the next 4 nights, which is going to be crazy.
It'd be good to see.
Then home against Boston, then at the Yankees for 4, and then at the Mets for 3 after that. So they're going to be on a 7-day New York stand. Then they get Kansas City, Detroit, Tampa, White Sox, Minnesota again. But I find this odd. They end at Washington. Why the hell are they ending in interleague play? What is baseball doing? That's stupid.
It is dumb.
Makes no sense. They go Philly, Chicago White Sox, and Washington to end the season, end the year. That's
wild. So going back to the beginning of the season, I had Yankees over Dodgers in 6. You had Red Sox over Dodgers.
No, I had Astros over Braves.
Sorry, Red Sox over Dodgers in 7 was Brandon.
Yes.
Astros over Braves, 6.9. Astros are going to be tough now that they got Greinke.
And Brandon's about out because I don't think the Sox are going to make the playoffs.
No. And then the guy that walked the plank, the stat parrot, Astros over Dodgers in 5.
Which all of those, though, are still looking up.
Yep. If you had to, do you watch much baseball?
Not a fan anymore. I grew up a Reds fan, but back when I was first watching baseball, that was back when they had Pete Rose as player manager.
It was back when Mickey Mantle was playing.
No, I liked the Reds. I liked the Nasty Boys in the 90s. I still love Chris Sabo and Barry Larkin and Darryl Strawberry. I think Marge Schott is probably the most detested baseball owner outside of maybe Steinbrenner of all time. But as a Reds fan growing up, they haven't given me a lot to cheer about. Since my formative years. I did want to ask you. You brought up the Yankees earlier, and Jeter's a shoo-in for 2020 for the Hall of Fame. Last week or 2 weeks ago, I was reading that Tony Perez and Andre Dawson were probably going to boycott his induction ceremony because Jeter fired them.
Oh God!
In Miami. Opinion on that at all?
Idiots. That's it. That's all I got. Like Jeter, it's going to take a while to see what Jeter is going to do with Miami. Miami is trash right now, and but he got rid of big contracts. He did all of that. We'll see what they go after. Nobody really wants to play in Miami. They've got shitty, attendance. Tampa Bay's worse, but Tampa Bay, we talked about earlier, I think a couple months ago, that they might play in the future half their games in Montreal. Tampa Bay would.
Somebody tweeted out a picture of they were at a Tampa Bay Kansas City game earlier this season, and there might have been 200 people in the entire stadium. Some teams are hurting right now. Tampa Bay is probably the worst.
Oh yeah,
in terms of attendance.
Get the team out of there.
And they were thinking what? The Expos, right? Or
Yep.
I shouldn't say the Expos. Back to Montreal.
Yeah.
Who knows if they'd be the Expos again, but I assume they would be if they ended up trading. Jesus Christ.
Moving?
If they end up moving there. But they said also they wanted to split, right? Which I thought was odd. Why the hell would you split a base? That's what I don't get.
Yeah, I don't either. Toledo should just get a bigger stadium and then get an MLB team. We got the market for it.
I don't think a lot of people show up to Mud Hens games.
They sell out majority of the season.
Well, they sell out.
10,000.
I'm just saying tickets, that's because they have people who probably forget to cancel their season tickets. I've been to a couple games, and there's maybe 3,000 people there.
But there's also it's what, a $9 ticket, $10 ticket?
Right.
Yeah.
So you put a Major League ball team in a mid-sized city like Toledo, it's not going to be the same. Plus, Detroit siphons off a lot of the fandom. I mean, people go to Mud Hens games because they're Detroit fans, and that's a feeder team. So that's part of it.
Maybe Columbus then.
Do you remember when Kenny Rogers pitched at Fifth Third Field? And, I mean, there were people lined up like 3 deep outside just trying to get a glimpse of the guy because you couldn't get a ticket.
Right.
You just couldn't.
The only one I ever remember going to, seeing a big pro at the time was Garcia Parra. When he was injured, came up, played for the Paw Sox, right? Who the hell are they, right? And
Pawtucket.
Everyone was like, Nomar's hurt, he's a nobody, blah, blah, blah. Yeah, he blasted a 440-foot homer to dead center like I've never seen before. Yeah. And I think these guys realize that, shit, that's not good. I know Tebow was here, 3 weeks ago or something, wasn't it?
Yep.
And I didn't go. I don't even know if he played, but that's what I saw their advertisement. Oh, Tim Tebow and the Mets AAA team's coming to town, so buy your tickets. And I guarantee that sold out 3 days. I would almost guarantee that.
He's the greatest college quarterback of all time, in my book, anyway. But I would pay to see that, to heckle Tebow. Because I like sitting behind the visitor dugout when I go to Mud Hens games.
I like
You'd
sitting.
have to nicely heckle Tebow, though.
I go when they play Scranton. I usually go once a year unless somebody just says, hey, you want to go to a game?
You're too pretty for sports. Yeah, stuff like that.
I sit behind usually home plate. I'll take the old man, and we're big Scranton fans. We'll wear our Yankees jerseys there. Otherwise, I'm rooting for the Mud Hens. And then it's just nice to see some of the guys there. So, a few years ago when we went, we got to see Judge. We got to see, Sanchez. We got to see these guys that are now studs up in the MLB.
Yeah. If that's a good thing. If you know and understand your scout team and the up-and-coming prospects, it's fun to go watch games like this.
Yeah.
I'm not a Tigers fan. I just happen to live in Toledo. I don't give a shit about, the Tigers farm team. I just like going to Mud Hens games. And I wouldn't go there unless the Indians had a huge prospect, I wouldn't go there to see whoever the Indians farm team is now.
I think it's Columbus.
Is it?
I think it is the Clippers.
Yeah.
Clippers used to be the Yankees.
Yeah, I know.
Farm team,
and
which made zero sense.
Right, and I think the Indians were Scranton, maybe.
No, and here's what's weird. I do believe that the Clippers farm out to Cleveland and Cincinnati. That both of those organizations have ties to the Clippers organization. So
pretty good.
Yeah, it's weird that they would share that, but given the proximity of Columbus to both cities, I guess it kind of makes sense.
Right, it does. Now, I've always been confused because the Walleye are kind of like that. They get a couple teams, or they did have a couple teams. I think the Blackhawks and the Red Wings could pull.
Correct.
I've always wondered who gets first dibs on a guy. How does that work? I've always thought that was
Paper, rock,
Standings
scissors.
something.
Yeah.
Standings has something, and then they probably get one. The next guy gets it. Kind of like waivers.
rock, paper, scissors. I prefer
I like that too. All right. Tebow, by the way, is batting 163 in AAA. Not good. Sorry, Tim. All right, let's go to NFL. We're going to do an AFC North preview, but before that, we're going to thank our sponsors, of course. So thanks to Wes Anderson for Moments in Time. Check him out on Facebook, Wes Anderson Music. Give him a follow on Twitter at Songs by Wes. Thank you to Brandon Allwear Clothing for the shirts, for being the first and primary sponsor of us, and we look forward to getting more shirts from you in the future. And some other things. We talked about beer koozies and stickers and magnets and all this other stuff. We'll think of some things that we want to do. Maybe a blanket, or I like the hoodies. Coat would be sweet. Polos would be nice. I think it look good on a polo.
Everybody likes can koozies, and they're cheap.
Yeah, they are. And, well, all those were sponsored. We didn't have to pay for shit. So we got to thank Brandon for that. And Brandon at Allwear Clothing. Thank you to Crandall Quality Lawn Care. Give them a call, 419-704-5471. Serves the Toledo and surrounding area, and not wherever that was in Australia. Do you remember?
It was near Ayers Rock, I think. I don't remember the name of the city.
All right. And then thank you to Cassandra at PNC, and thank you to Tim at Verizon. So moving on to Antonio Brown. Did you see this about his foot injury? He has a foot injury. It's extreme frostbite.
It's disgusting.
Caused by the cryotherapy machine.
Yeah, because he wore the wrong shoes.
Haven't seen it.
I haven't seen it either, but I just saw that
That's disgusting.
Is it?
The bottom of his feet, you could peel both of them off. It's
Nope.
gross.
I don't need to look that
No,
up.
you
I'm
don't.
good.
No, you don't. It's disgusting. I got pulled right into that one, unfortunately.
So he's with Oakland anyway, but let's talk about the AFC North. We don't have to go much into it. Whoops. AFC North, hit my Google button. What do we got? Cincinnati, Pittsburgh, Cleveland, and Baltimore. So top to bottom, I'll let you go first, Shiv. What's your standings? What's their records this year? 16 games each.
I'm going Cleveland, number one, probably 11-5. I'll go Pittsburgh second at 10-6, and I'm being generous with them. Baltimore maybe 8-8, and then Cincinnati 5-11.
So
opposite of the Browns record.
I'm going to write this down. So I'm going to put Shiv, Bear, and Gary. So you've got Cleveland at 1 at 10-6. Or 11-5. I'm sorry.
11-5.
11-5. Pitt at 10-6, right?
Yep.
All right. And Baltimore 8-8.
Yep.
And then 5-11.
Correct.
All right. Bear?
I have Cleveland at 10-6. I have Pittsburgh at 9-7. I have Baltimore at 9-7 in third. And I have Cincinnati at 3-13.
Wow, you were really mean to them.
Cincinnati, they're not going to be good this year. And I know that Marvin Lewis has sucked forever, but he's gone finally. So they have a new coach and a new system after 16,000 years. It feels like.
But you're still relying on Dalton to deliver, and he's not your guy. At this point, I think they're just. I think he's a placeholder quarterback until they figure out what they want to do or who they can get.
And I say that too because one, you're right. Dalton, blah, right? AJ Green's hurt. He's out at least the first 2 weeks for sure. Their first round pick, their offensive tackle Jonah Williams from Alabama, is out for the year already. So it's not looking good in Cincinnati to start. It's going to be a rough year for them. Offense isn't going to be great. I think the only, should I say, bright spot will probably be Joe Mixon. He's going to be a workhorse, I feel, and they're going to feed him a lot the ball as well, as well as pass out of the backfield. But with no AJ Green for a couple weeks at least, and who knows if he even wants to be there anymore. He's injury prone. He's getting older. The team sucks. I would not be shocked if he gets traded mid-year this year.
And I can see that.
And Dalton is Dalton.
Barry, you and I are just one game apart. That's it. I've got Cleveland and Pittsburgh at 10-6. I've got Cleveland with the tiebreaker. They're going to win the division. Baltimore at 9-7, Cincinnati 3-13. We'll see. I don't think Antonio Brown's going to be that big of a loss. They played without Le'Veon Bell. Pittsburgh's still Pittsburgh as long as they got Ben there. You got Juju as the main guy, and then James Washington's going to be good. And the tight end, they're always throwing the tight end. So it'll be a good year for Pittsburgh. However, the Browns just keep up and up, man.
They haven't won their division since 1989. I looked it up.
And I wouldn't be shocked if it was Pittsburgh that got the tiebreaker at 10-6 either. I'm going to give it to Cleveland, though. I want to see Cleveland, so I'm giving it to Cleveland. I think Baltimore, it'll be interesting to see what happens because quarterback put on some muscle, some weight, so I don't know if he's going to run the same.
Yeah, but did he improve on his throwing?
No.
Okay.
So Lamar probably did not improve on his throwing, but he's bigger, so it's going to slow him down a little bit. And then Cincinnati's just trash. So sorry, Justin. They're trash. Jeremy, you're welcome. All three of us took Cleveland to win the division. I think they get it. 10-6. Everybody's saying, they can go 13-3, 12-4. I've seen that schedule. They're going 10-6.
Yeah, I mean, with Baltimore, they're always right there at 8-8, 9-7. It's the only thing that keeps little Harbaugh around. Lamar Jackson, like I said, did he improve on his throwing or not? Because if he did, he'd be a monster threat. Obviously, he's a threat on his legs. But if he gets that passing down and he can throw the ball or at least find a way to work him to throw decent balls somewhere. I mean, they just picked up one of the fastest guys in the draft at Marquise Brown out of Oklahoma.
Yeah.
So that's a big down the field threat. So you just run a little option to Mark Ingram or, a fake option and then have Lamar throw the ball downfield. It's possible. Problem is they lost Terrell Suggs and C.J. Mosley on defense. Their defense is always there. Always will be good. I mean, they did get Earl Thomas. He's older. We'll see how he plays there. So Baltimore, I think, same thing as always. 8-8, 9-7. They'll be probably fighting for a wild card spot the last game of the year like they always do, it feels like. Pittsburgh, I'm going to compare Pittsburgh and Cleveland because I think the only difference – I'm sorry. I don't mean to say that. Pittsburgh has less talent right now than Cleveland. Cleveland has a much more talented team. The only thing that Pittsburgh has that's any different is the experience. They still have Tomlin. You still have Roethlisberger. Connor has a little bit of experience. So does Juju. Their defense is veteran-minded. And they just got Devin Bush, who, even though he's from Michigan, he was a better draft pick than whoever the hell went to – who's that? Rashad Gary went to Green Bay. So I think if the Browns and Mayfield can play with the poise he did last year and be that mature guy, I think that the Browns sweep Pittsburgh this year, and that is why they win this division by that one game because they beat them twice. Like I said, you can't deny the talent on Cleveland offensively and defensively. You have obviously Myles Garrett anchoring that defense, but you got Olivier Vernon and Sheldon Richardson in the offseason. I mean, holy shit, that line is going to be stout.
Dude, Dorsey just switched that whole team around. 2 years.
If Denzel Ward stays healthy and can avoid the concussions and plays smarter than what he did last year, because he ball hawked a lot, but he got himself in trouble trying to hit with his head down and had, 3 concussions last year, I think?
Yep.
Wasn't good, but, I mean, the kid is talented. So if he stays healthy, I think that Cleveland takes the division for the first time since Shiv said 1989, you said?
89, 30 years. Yeah.
All right, what you got there, Browns fan?
What do you think about the Browns?
I
know you gave your record, but what do you think about their team? I mean, you're a Browns fan, so I just kind of want to hear what your thought. You've lived in misery for years.
Oh, yeah. I mean, Bear pointed this out on episode 100. This is the most excited the fan base has been since, the team came back to Cleveland under Tim Couch. I saw a jersey one time where it had all of the quarterbacks that the Browns have had since Couch, and they ran out of room, so they had to go to the side. The names.
And they kept going down with tape.
Yeah, just keep crossing them out. And I honestly think they got it right this time. I've questioned management in the past. I'm hesitant to be too excited because, when I get too excited, that's when the train kind of goes off the tracks. I thought Holmgren was a good hire, and I thought that was going to, turn things around. And, I mean, it just didn't – nothing produced there. So, and I liked Romeo Crandall. I mean, there was a lot kind of over the years of, unrealized expectations that I had. We finally have we finally have the team in the right place to win. We've actually got, and it's sad that it's happening without Joe Thomas, if I'm being honest. Because
did you see that picture of him? We talked about it.
He's lost like
he's shredded.
And he cut.
He looks like Stifler.
He's lost like 80 pounds, something like that.
He's shredded.
Yeah, because he doesn't have to push people around anymore.
Yeah.
But that guy's been Mr. Brown and been our workhorse for years, and easily the best player on the Browns team for the last 20 years. Consistently when he wasn't hurt. So as a fan. This is why I'm going 11-5. I think a lot of the experts are picking 10-6 like you guys. I think I want that extra win.
I like it.
I think we do win the playoffs. I know we have Vegas odds in our favor to go to the Super Bowl. I don't know that we're there yet.
I don't think you are.
Offensively, we look really good. I think we have a couple of things on defense that we need to patch up. But I'm looking forward to the season. I think we have a quarterback that is comfortable running. He's comfortable in the pocket. We have some elite, players in the backfield. We have elite receivers, and we have our franchise quarterback in Baker Mayfield. And the Ohio State fan in me hated that pick, hated it because I still in my darkest memories
the flag
think about him planting the flag, but. When you play for us the way he's played for us, all those sins are forgiven. So
absolutely.
I'm excited to see what he does. Did you guys see him chug the beer at the Indians game this week?
Shotgunned it.
Yeah.
Stone Cold gave it an A+.
Yeah.
Gave Aaron Rodgers a C, I think.
He bit the bottom out of his can. That guy loves playing in Cleveland. He loves the organization he's in, and you can tell he does. And
that's why Freddie Kitchens is the coach.
But that's what we've needed. We've needed players who actually want to be there. We have NFL guys who actually want to be traded to Cleveland right now. That's not happened in my lifetime. So that's exciting. It's a really good time to be a Browns fan.
So when they moved to Baltimore, did you cheer for Baltimore or hate them?
I was torn because I hated Art Modell, but those were my players, and I still wanted. Not everybody made the cut. I mean, look at coaching right away. You move the team, you fire your coach, and then he goes to New England and kicks everyone's ass. So
right,
it is what it is. But
it's Art Modell's fault.
Yeah, if you watch that, there was that documentary of the Browns last season in Cleveland, and you look at his work ethic. I don't know how you fire that guy. I don't understand it. But it is what it is. Yeah, so I haven't been. I was heartbroken when they moved. I think I was a junior in high school that year, and they weren't coming back, even though our two U.S. senators got involved and tried to keep the team in Cleveland. It's crazy. The government got involved, but Modell just kind of did it in this, at night when nobody else could, find out, and so that's there. Back to the original question, I'm excited about the season. I'm cautiously optimistic. I think a lot of Browns fans have been burned so many years that we're all cautiously optimistic. But this is, in all honesty, this is the best we've looked. And it's not just Cleveland fans that feel that way right now. It's everyone who's watching us and saying, that's the team to watch this year. So that's exciting.
To not be the butt of jokes anymore and to be, serious right there.
Right, and I think LeBron helped us a lot, to be honest, because winning in Cleveland was not a reality until LeBron James made it a reality. We can be capable of being a championship city.
He did good.
Yeah.
And the Indians, they were up 3-1. They had a chance. Cubbies ended up coming back and getting them, but they had every opportunity. It's a winning city now, minus the Cavs now that LeBron's gone. But the Browns, I think people are happier for because people like football more than any other sport. And to see Cleveland good, I'm excited to see Cleveland good. I might go to a game just to go to a game,
right?
Because they are going to be fun to watch.
You got to pick your game.
All young.
What you got to pick your game because you'll freeze your ass off if you go in November.
Of course.
Yeah.
And we went, in September a few years ago when Dallas was in town?
Dude, that was
70% Dallas fans?
No, that was November.
Oh, was it?
And it was a 70-degree game the first weekend of November. It was
maybe that's what it was.
Wore shorts to a Browns game the first weekend of November. and Dallas beat the shit out of them. But that was when Cleveland was still blah. I don't know if I'll actually go to the game, but I will be there that weekend of Sunday Night Football when they play the Rams Week 3.
That'll be good.
Know that for a fact. So I don't know if I'll
that'll be a
actually be
good
going
game.
to the game,
Yeah.
but it'll be a great game. And that's going to be it right there. The Browns start off 2-0, and they go into that game right there, and they beat the Rams or compete with the Rams and lose close. There's going to be a lot more attention than what already is out there.
And
with
if
them
they
right
beat
now.
them,
Absolutely.
even more.
Oh, yeah.
But they got to go in. They got to win these first two. You got to take one game at a time. Let's hope they do. Don't look ahead. Baker always talks about it. He doesn't look ahead. And I believe him. He's a kid, but he's leading that team. He's doing a good job, and they're rallying behind him.
Yeah.
They really believe in Baker.
He really is the leader that you want on the field. He studies the game. He spends more time in the QB room than his coaches have seen any other quarterback before. So he's a student of football. He's exactly who you want. He leads not just by words, but also by example. He's your guy.
And I know
he's our guy.
I know people didn't know Baker first pick. That's kind of odd, and it's like Dorsey knows what the hell he's doing.
I really thought we were going to take Sam Darnold.
A lot of people did.
Yeah,
Jets were happy.
No, I thought we were going to, and he's not bad. He's fine. He doesn't have a team.
He doesn't have a line or a team or anything, and now he's got Le'Veon Bell. We'll see. Take the runaway.
He did not want to go to Cleveland. He made that very clear.
Baker was all about it.
Baker was fine with it, and I think that's great for us because we have a kid who wants to be there.
Yeah.
Right.
So, yeah.
And he's a blue-collar kid. I mean,
Yeah.
he was picked over at Texas Tech, right, by Mahomes, and then transferred to Oklahoma. And, yeah, like you said, hated to see what he did in Ohio State, beat the crap out of us, and then plant a flag on artificial turf. But, you can't knock what the kid's doing. He's a blue-collar kid. I mean, he's got compared to Breeze, and he's making it. He's not just being there. He's making it happen, and he like you said at the Indians game. I mean, watching what he does, he loves the fans there. He loved everything about it, and I think he's going to bring playoff wins to Cleveland, if not more. No doubt about it.
You go back to him planting the flag, though, and you go back even further than that. Ohio State went into Norman and embarrassed them the year before. Just embarrassed them, and they were expected to win that game. So he plays with an edge. He plays with a chip on his shoulder. And
Tried to move it to the edge of the table.
He has brought that desire to win to to the NFL. So it's for him. It's about proving himself every week, overcoming anything that's kind of happened beforehand. And why wouldn't we want that in Cleveland? That's what we need in Cleveland. So I love the kid. I really do.
Yeah, I think it's going to be a good few years and hopefully a while for the Browns. It's exciting to watch. I do like watching them. There's only one game out of every 4 years I don't root for them. That's when they play Dallas.
Right.
Other than that, I do root for the Browns. I have to. There's no doubt about that.
Yeah, your parents are season ticket holders. Right?
Yeah, the neighbors. Yeah, the parents' neighbors are season ticket holders, and they treat me very well when I get to go there. And actually, Browns fans are great people. So
Yeah, they are.
even when I'm wearing my Cowboys jersey, they don't give me shit. So it's good.
Well, the game we went to was 70% Cowboys fans. Now it'll be different if it comes around to it. It'll be probably 70-80% Browns fans.
Yeah, it was 2016, I think, right?
Yeah, exactly.
They were still kind of crappy then.
And so the big thing, or was it 17? Zeke was there.
16.
That's
'cause
why
I was there in 12. They play every 4 years. So 12, 16, because 20 they'll be in Dallas.
So this is Zeke's fourth year?
Yeah.
Huh. I'll be damned. So here's the thing. I want to go back to this. Now that we're talking about it, we're thinking about it, is with Cleveland, and we know Tom Brady. I don't know if you mentioned it in episode 100 because I, kind of skipped over parts. I listened to the last hour and a half, but I skipped over football. Tom Brady signed a 2-year extension.
That was like 2 days ago.
Was it 2 days ago?
We did not talk about it
All
Saturday.
right, so he signed a 2-year extension, and it's Tom Brady. So for me, I think Cleveland comes in around the 3 seed, ends up going to Foxborough to play New England, and I think they beat him. I really do. I wouldn't be shocked if Brady won, but I think the Browns can get to the AFC Championship against Chiefs. I think Chiefs are winning the Super Bowl. You can't deny Holmes. I think they're probably going to beat the Saints. I would go with the Saints or Rams. I like Drew Brees better, so I'm going to go Saints, but we'll get into that later. But I think Cleveland has a legitimate shot if they can keep it together and have no distractions, and they do have a tough schedule, but if they can play well, I can see them going against Kansas City in the AFC Championship, going in as a 3 seed, beat New England in New England, and it's going to be tough, but I can see them doing it. But I think the Chiefs, man, with Mahomes, unfortunately, Mahomes is really good, and he's surrounded by some good people, and he could be Tom Brady of the next 15, 20 years.
Easily.
Yeah.
Hands down, yeah.
Because they take guys away from him. He's still a stud. Kareem Hunt, they got, Damian Williams, who got hurt, but he'll be the man.
Yeah.
And you still got Tyreek, which we talked about a few weeks ago was bullshit, but they got Tyreek. They're going to do well. And they got Kelsey, of course. Travis Kelsey's a monster. He's a stud. You can take him first round tight end because he's like a
tight
receiver.
end in the NFL.
Yep.
Right.
He's a Cleveland boy, too.
Yeah, he is. Real quick, we talked about, as Cowboys fans, Rico Gathers got released, so that experiment's over. And then what do you make of Zeke talking about holding out until he gets a contract?
I'll worry about that when it happens.
Okay.
No comment.
You think he's getting paid?
He will.
He will get paid.
But I'm not worried about it because there's still 4 weeks till the season starts. So.
They got a lot of money on the table in the Cowboys organization. I know they have other people to pay, but
They got DeMarcus Lawrence already paid. They got to pay Amari Cooper, Dak Prescott, Zeke Elliott. It's going to be tough, but you're going to pay Zeke. You pay Zeke first, and you pay Amari. Yeah. Dak, I don't really care.
Doesn't matter what Jerry said. He will be paid before game 1.
Absolutely.
Because he will sit out. He'll get paid.
So
that's what Jerry Jones does.
Right.
Always has.
So on to college. The NCAA. So did you talk at all about Matt Baldwin? Didn't get his transfer waiver?
No.
Didn't get his waiver. I don't know if it's changed yet, but I know TCU is going to file an appeal on his behalf. Why didn't he get the...
Because he wasn't the big name. I mean,
that's what I figured.
I think also a little bit has to do with timing. Everyone else was early and he was later, so I think that has a little bit to do with it. But he just doesn't have. He wasn't the number 1 recruit like Fields was, So
and Tate Martell going. I mean, He got his too.
I think that's why he'll get it. I think he'll appeal it and he'll get it.
What do you think?
I think he should get it. I mean, if you're going to give Tate Tate's transferred for the same reason, you know. It's kind of a shame. I know that Ryan Day, was probably instrumental in getting Baldwin. That was the quarterback he wanted.
Yep.
It's just, sorry about your luck. We have this option now. Fields fell in our lap. And, I mean, I feel bad for him. He has spent, the last 2 seasons thinking that, it was going to be between him and Martell for the starting job after Haskins left. And, he hasn't done anything. We haven't really seen anything out of him. We just know that he was highly recruited out of high school. He's a Columbus area kid. So, I mean, he was a homeboy. We kind of liked that about him. He understands the rivalry of the game. I wish him luck in whatever he does. I am one of those once a Buckeye, always a Buckeye type of people. Mm-hmm. So even with somebody like Tate, who's might be the most ego-driven kid in college football right now, I still want him to do well.
Well, he went to the right team for that.
I don't know if he's getting the starting job. I mean, it's going to be close for him down there.
It will.
But look, I became an LSU fan last year.
Burrow, man.
Yep.
Yeah,
Burrow.
I wanted Joe to do well, and Joe did well at LSU.
At first he didn't, but then he came out and did a lot better.
Yeah.
Yeah, and he had, the SEC is obviously the toughest division in
absolutely.
football. But, I mean, he played Alabama last year tough. I think he beat Georgia, didn't he? They beat Georgia last year? I want to say they beat Georgia.
Yeah.
I think their defense beat Georgia, but, I mean, he played good ball. And then he lost, I think, a shitty game. I can't remember to whom. But not too great. But yeah, I root for Burrow. I root for any of them. I mean, I'll watch Martell and root for him and hope he does well there. Just like anyone else, just like you said, from the Buckeyes who happen to leave. Unless they go to the team up north and screw them.
Right, and that's happened a few times.
Well, it's gone the other way, too. I mean, we got one of the Borlands came down because his brother, I forget which one it was. There's 3. But the oldest one was at Michigan and came down to OSU when his the second brother went.
Yeah.
To Ohio State.
Yeah.
Tough is I think he's a senior this year, right? I want to say.
No, this was a different family. This was like Zach Borland and God, what were the other 2 kids? Justin and forget the other one. But I don't think they're related to Tough, who's maybe my least favorite linebacker that Ohio State's at. I mean, when he plays well, I like him, but he doesn't always do what I want him to do. So
Yeah, and his injury last year, he shouldn't have been on the field. I mean, he came back like 6 months after an ACL,
Right.
Or 7 months, whatever it was,
Ugh.
and it showed. He got burnt quite a bit on coverage routes, crossing routes. I mean, he'd go the wrong way a lot. He couldn't keep up with guys. If you're a liability like that, no reason to be on the field.
you look at my jerseys, like the majority of the jerseys that I have for Ohio State, it's always defensive guys. Other than Zeke, I have Zeke's jersey, but I have AJ Hawk, James Laurinaitis.
Bosa.
I have Bosa. And
Joey Ornick.
I got a lot of use out of that because Bosa 97 worked for like 6 years. And Cam Hayward, those I like the defensive guys a lot. And Borland just has not delivered on defense like the legacy in front of him. So
Right. And you guys had a great discussion about Fields and Martell. I listened to that in the show.
I was not on for that.
You weren't?
I don't
thought you
think
talked
so.
a little bit about that.
I don't remember.
Because you
that
talked
at all.
about your hesitation with Fields, if I remember correctly.
I don't remember at all.
All right, so we'll move on then, and that's okay.
I am a little worried about it. I mean, we haven't seen what he could do at Georgia.
Because Fromm started. You guys talked about Fromm.
I remember that. He lost the job to Fromm.
That's
I do
what
remember.
That's
okay.
what you highly mentioned.
Yep.
And Fromm's a hell of a quarterback, so I
Right.
can't take that away from him. But we never really saw what he could do at Georgia unless they were
I'm pretty
already
sure you
blowing
were
him
on
out.
for that because it was at the end.
Okay.
Once you get there. And the other thing is, I didn't hear. Did you guys make picks for the NFC North? Like who was going to win?
Not that I recall.
Do you? So
I think we just got into the conversation
so
of
Bears winning
who's
it.
there.
You got the Bears.
I think you guys picked Green Bay, Minnesota, and Chicago to all kind of like
Be close.
a three-way tie for first.
Well, I know Cody's going to take Green Bay, so I take that right out.
I'm taking the Bears in that one. Give me Bears, Packers, Minnesota until Kirk Cousins can prove he's a winner, and then Lions.
I think.
Yeah, that's fair.
I think Green Bay is going to struggle this year. I think they'll be 8-8. Probably Vikings 9-7, Bears 10-6, Lions 5-11.
You just never know with Minnesota. It's
Cousins is just blah, man.
Yeah,
He is.
but I like that order. I think Chicago probably does slightly better than Green Bay and Minnesota.
So which one do you have ahead of the other? He has Vikings over Packers. I have Packers over Vikings.
I'll take. You know what? Since we were there this summer, I'll take Packers over Vikings, but I'm still sticking with Chicago for number one.
All right. So we're keeping. So you and I will have the same Bears, Packers, Vikings, and Lions, and we'll put some records on this later. I heard Bears, but we'll do that later. It's okay. So we got to keep rolling, trucking along. We got SEC. We don't have to go deep into this.
No.
But for me, Alabama's winning it. They're winning the SEC. I think they're going to beat Georgia. Is who they're going to beat in the title game, and they're going to go back to the playoff.
Yeah, give me Georgia, Alabama again, but I like Georgia. I do.
Okay.
Tua, man, his just injuries worry me.
Mm-hmm.
That's the biggest thing. Those injuries worry me. He's not that big. Maybe he put on some muscle. I don't know what he did in the offseason, but he's been injured quite a bit since he's been playing quarterback. Right. And Jalen Hurts ain't there to back him
Where'd
up
he go,
now.
Oklahoma?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
And he might not even start.
No, they're saying it's iffy.
Yeah. It'll be interesting.
So I think Georgia beats Alabama this year and potentially knocks them out of the playoffs because I think they both come in at 12-1 and Georgia beats them in the championship game.
Okay. You?
I agree, Bama, Georgia. I get kind of frustrated, though, with SEC fans in general because, I mean, really you're looking at two great teams, two good teams,
LSU.
and then the rest is trash.
Well, A&M's good, and they're going to be good. Florida will be good this year.
If one more person tells me that Tennessee is going to have a good year, I'm so...
You're not going to hear Tennessee out of me. They're going to
just put them
they're
down
gonna
for
finish
6-6.
like fourth in the East.
They keep getting highly picked, though, like in coaches' polls,
No.
and I don't get it. It's the same thing with Michigan getting picked over Ohio State for finishing
won't
in the
happen.
Big Ten.
These 1999 guys who are still living in the past.
So much hype going into these teams that fail to deliver on a consistent basis.
Kentucky had a crazy year, but I think they're going to be third or fourth in that division.
Yeah, I mean, I really think it's going to be, like you said, obviously Georgia, Alabama are your tops. Florida with Dan Mullen should be pretty solid this year, and LSU. Other than that, you just have a riffraff of other teams that are in the SEC to beat each other up more or less, and every week think that we're going to have somebody beat Bama, but then Bama beat them 55-3.
What do you think? What do you think Auburn's going to do this year?
I think they're going to go 6-6, 7-5, and I think Gus Malzahn's going to get fired this year.
I think he's been around probably 2 seasons too long. Mm-hmm. But the thing is, he wins like games that he shouldn't win, and I think it keeps him around an extra season. So it'll be interesting if they keep him at the end of this year, because I think they could potentially have a losing record going into playoffs. Not even make a bowl potentially.
Ooh. Yeah, that would be interesting. I mean, then he'd definitely get fired. There's no doubt about that.
Right.
So I think, though, this will be his last year in Auburn, and it'll be another high-profile job for a coach to get out there and see. Maybe Nick Saban will switch over there and get Auburn to win.
I think Nick's going to retire with the Tide.
Yeah, he's something else, Saban. And we'll get into other divisions later. So we got to keep the ball rolling, because I know you got to leave soon.
Yeah.
What do you got to go 5 minutes from here, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So we're good. 9 o'clock. Hour and 40 minutes in. So still we're keeping this streak of long episodes going. But we had a lot to cover. So we're going to go into our sports movie discussion.
Excellent.
Days of Thunder is the movie, and this is for Brandon, who is a big Days of Thunder fan. He loves Days of Thunder, and he quotes it, and I quote it too sometimes. I like it as a NASCAR movie. A lot of people don't like NASCAR, but I like the whole premise. You know, Rowdy Kyle Busch is because of Rowdy Burns in the movie, which you know who he is, who played Rowdy Burns.
Oh, yeah. Why can't I think of his name right now? Michael Rooker.
Yes.
Yeah.
Who was in Guardians of the Galaxy. And
I will watch Michael Rooker in anything. I would watch him in a phone commercial. That guy's good.
Yeah, he's great.
He's fantastic. Everything he's ever done, I've liked the way he plays the character. He's always kind of a grumpy guy, kind of like semi-pissed off, but there's a charm to him. And, yeah, Rowdy's very much a typical Michael Rooker character.
I just saw Urshela hit a home run for the Yankees, so that is the tied home run for what we talked about earlier, that stat for most home runs against a team in a season. But you watched Days of Thunder today?
Part last night and then the rest this morning, yeah.
So since we're going to discuss it, I just want to hear your thoughts.
The pacing of that movie makes no sense. Like, everything happens so quick. Cousin Eddie wants to start a NASCAR team.
Randy Quaid, yes.
Right. And, he talks to a mechanic who's kind of washed out of NASCAR because of, some inquiries. And nope, I'm not coming back. Okay, I'll come back.
Which is Robert Duvall.
Right. Yep. Who is the greatest actor probably of the last 50 years, and he's wasted in this movie, as the crew chief.
Fun fact before you go into this, what was his first movie?
Oh, To Kill a Mockingbird.
Yes.
He played Boo Radley. Yeah, he didn't talk.
Yeah.
Robert Duvall agrees, just kind of, all right, you talked me into it. I'll build a car. Who's the driver? Well, it's a no name you've never heard of. I call bullshit on that, because we find out that he's got, an open wheel record, and he's won all these, amateur cups. And so if you've paid attention to stock car racing at all, you would probably know, Cole Trickle, because of how well he has supposedly done, on this amateur circuit.
Yeah. Well, maybe. Do you know any open wheel people currently?
But I'm not in that world. Yeah, and I think if you're in the racing
I don't
world,
know anybody.
But if you're in the racing world, you probably pay attention to the guys coming up. Yeah.
Yeah.
So I have a problem with that. So he shows up, and right away Rowdy hates him because, I don't know if he just looks. It's Tom Cruise, and he's pretty, and
he's 5'7".
Right, and he ends up outpacing Rowdy in Rowdy's car for at the track for the test runs. They end up every race takes like 3 minutes in that movie, right? And for whatever reason, once they both wreck their cars, and by the way, NASCAR would never allow their drivers to put people on the wall or rub to the degree. I mean, Dale Earnhardt never rubbed people nearly as much or as hard as this movie does.
He just wanted to rattle their cage a little bit.
Right. So it's not technically accurate at all. It paints NASCAR as being a very rough and tough. And I mean, there's a lot of danger.
A lot of
to
NASCAR people hated that movie.
My dad included, because my dad says,
NASCAR guys, not just fans, but yeah.
Oh yeah, because it's not actual racing. I mean, it's just not. That's not how they.
It's like a love story / drama / partially racing.
Right. I mean, that movie's about as accurate to NASCAR as Space Jam is to the NBA. Okay? So the guys are hospitalized because of an accident. Cole has to deal with his, he's got a lot of like bad stuff in his head following that. Rowdy isn't able to return to racing. Suddenly they're friends, just
I
because.
wouldn't say they're friends. There's they weren't really friends in that.
Well,
they get along, and he's like, drive my car.
Right. And so
because he knows he's the best driver.
Right.
Makes
so
sense.
suddenly at the end of the movie, he's driving his car for Rowdy.
But you never see Rowdy again.
No, not after that scene. And for whatever reason, there's beef. They never say why, but there's beef with the guy that takes over for Cole while he's out on injury, which is played by Carrie Elwes. And
who is Jigsaw? Well, in
Saw,
he also didn't listen to Bill Paxton and Twister and got sucked up in the tornado and shifted its course.
He did.
He's also
he ends up being one of the Jigsaws in Saw 8 or something.
But he's like spoiler.
Yeah, I think it's long enough that it's like Avengers Endgame.
Didn't he die in the first one?
No, he just cut his foot off and got away.
Yeah,
but he ends up, getting a new foot. They cut back to it. He put a foot on him, and then he continues the game because the one guy was fucking it over.
Thanks.
Yeah, you don't need to.
I don't like those movies anyway. They're just gross. But he's the pirate in Princess Bride, which is probably the only time I've ever seen him as a likable character in anything he's done. He's always kind of a douche.
Yeah.
But for whatever reason, he hates Cole, and Cousin Eddie now has 2 racing teams. And by the way, he's giving Cole an engine, even though he's been a total dick to him for like the last 20 minutes of the movie. And then he gets that guy's crew.
He's like, we got it. We got it. Yeah, we got it. We're good. And he just looks back, gave him an engine or stole it. Quote unquote.
And they put so much emphasis on Daytona as being, and there's a lot of history behind the Daytona 500
race.
Right. But, there are lots of races to win. And Cole wins other races, and it's just kind of glossed over,
Well, it is. Daytona
it's all
500
about
is the
Daytona.
Biggest. It is.
Right.
It's the biggest race of the year. Still, it's the first race of the year. Still the biggest. Always will be.
They call it the Super Bowl of stock car racing, and
it's the first race.
It is.
Next year, it's going to actually be different. I think it's the last race before the chase. Daytona is. Yeah.
Yes, it is.
So it's pretty good. It'll be fun to see somebody try to get in there and win and get top 30. But
right.
Anyway.
But, I mean, the movie is very contrived. It's very convenient. These people don't like each other now. They like each other. Cole's doctor thinks he's an asshole, and suddenly now they're in bed together. It moves so quick. Like if you get up and don't pause the movie, you get up and you go to the bathroom and you come back 3 minutes later.
You missed a race.
The relationships that 2 people may have in that movie have completely changed, and you have no idea what the hell's going on. So I mean, that's my issue with it. The accuracy sucks, and I get it. I mean, sports movies they have to make it exciting. It is what it is, but I think Talladega Nights might be a more accurate movie in terms of racing than Daytona, or I'm sorry, Days of Thunder.
I like Days of Thunder. It is historically inaccurate.
Have you watched it recently?
In the last year.
Okay, watch it like this weekend. Let me know.
Where'd you watch it on?
And here's the other thing. I paid money for this.
Oh no!
I bought it on. Well, it's not streaming anywhere, so I bought it for $9.99 on Amazon Prime, so I could watch it.
I think I have a copy of it. I might just have to watch the DVD. That's fantastic. Well, the owner, played by Cousin Eddie, is like kind of mimics or is based on Rick Hendrick, who is obviously the most prominent owner in NASCAR right now. Then he really wasn't. but he's based on him. And then Tom Cruise's character is based on Tim Richmond, if anybody knew who he was. But his name is obviously a nod to Trickling Dick. So there's that. Bear, what are your thoughts?
Dude, I have not seen this movie in at least 10 years, and I also couldn't find it streamed anywhere. So I have zero thoughts on this. I need to watch it. And maybe I can give you something next week, but I'm not paying $10 to watch it. Sorry. That ain't
now
gonna
I have
happen.
it. Now I have it forever. You can pay $3.99 on Amazon Prime to watch it in HD, and you got like 48 hours to watch it from when you start it. So if you're willing to part with $4,
Yeah,
you can watch it on Prime for $4.
That's 4 tacos. Oh, and by the way,
That's possible, but yeesh.
in
I thought
September,
for $6 extra, I get to keep it forever. So that's why.
I need to throw out this since we mentioned tacos. In September, you are going to be here for this. We are doing a food eating contest. We're eating soft tacos from Taco Bell. We haven't decided if we're going to do 2 minutes or 3 minutes as our time limit to see who can eat the most tacos from Taco Bell.
I've had diarrhea before.
So you're down for the challenge. Because this will be after the diet ends.
Yeah, I don't want to.
But we got to introduce food back.
No, because if I lose 40 pounds, I get to go back to Vegas. So
It's one day.
I'll keep score.
Me and Bear, yeah, you just mark it on the board here.
Yeah.
And
I'm
Yeah.
trying to
Town.
get fatter while you guys try to lose weight. So
Yeah,
kudos
that's
to you.
fantastic.
I'm trying to have the best dad bod I can without having kids.
That's fantastic. So lastly on Days of Thunder. So Brandon, he put "get in the car, Cole," which is not the right line. It's actually "let me out of the car, Cole. Let me out of the car." And she's just wanting out of the car. And then he put in here one of the funny scenes. "I'm coming into the pit." "Ah, you can't. We're eating ice cream."
Yep.
Ice cream.
That's the only part of the movie I liked.
He's just driving and talking about ice cream.
Okay, the only two things I have to add, just because I looked at this. So it got 39% on Rotten Tomatoes, 6 out of 10 on IMDb. Lower than 39% then, Shiv, is what it sounds like on your rating system.
I would put it in Tom Cruise's bottom half easily. I mean, and he makes some good movies, but I would say like of all the Tom Cruise films I've seen, the only one that I've enjoyed less than this is The Mummy.
I didn't see that.
The Mummy.
Don't waste your time.
He's in the new Mummy.
Oh,
The
the
new
new.
Mummy,
Okay, I was
not
about to
the one
say.
with
I was
Brendan
about to say,
Fraser,
don't.
no.
I was like, that was a great movie.
Oh, that movie's fun.
Yeah,
I
okay,
have-
okay.
Yeah, 10 out of 10 for me on that. Just on the fun
Are you
factor.
excited for Top Gun Maverick?
Yeah, have you seen the previews?
Yes.
The trailer looks awesome.
I'm interested to see what they're going to do with our boy, former Batman, Val Kilmer. Because he's all
I don't
like,
know. He
"I'm
can't.
Val Kilmer."
Right, he
Yeah,
can't talk anymore. I don't know.
And
They
he
had
looks like shit because of that. You
Right.
know, because of the
they had to bring
throat
in somebody
cancer.
else to dub over his lines in the Snowman or whatever movie I watched that he
Yeah.
was in, and it didn't work. So I don't know. Tom Cruise always plays Tom Cruise. You know, he'll never win an Oscar because there's not a lot of depth to the characters that he plays. But he's fun to watch, and
he does all his own stunts.
Yeah.
You know, he's just a cool dude.
And
Yeah.
he'll make good money. That's what he cares
What's your
about.
favorite movie of his?
of Tom's, Rain Man.
Very good. All the Mission Impossibles are good. I like him as in Collateral as the bad guy. I thought he was really good.
Yeah.
Vincent, the bad guy. You?
Top Gun.
Yeah, it is good.
Top
Solid.
Gun for sure. War of the Worlds, I actually enjoyed. I thought that was a
My
Oh,
dad
so
really liked
you
that.
were the one. Okay.
Yeah, I was.
My dad liked it.
I enjoyed that movie, and a lot of people didn't. I did, but I'm not a big Tom Cruise fan, so
I like
never,
his.
I was not a. I saw the first Mission Impossible and didn't see any of the others. Don't care to see any of the others.
They're
Just
actually-
not a lot of interest.
Actually, pretty good. Recent. I mean, the last one was highly rated. I think it was 97 on Rotten Tomatoes, which is crazy.
I need to see it. I've heard good things
it's
from people
really
I
good.
trust. Yeah.
Yeah, it is a good movie. I actually like. It's not rated high, but it was fun to watch with the ex-wife because it was a comedic movie. It was a love story comedy movie. It was night and day with him and Cameron Diaz. We like to watch that one. It's okay as a movie, but it was just nice to spend time and watch that because we enjoyed it.
Not a traditional like Tom Cruise film. When
No,
you say
not
Tom
at all.
Cruise film, I wouldn't. My favorite Tom Cruise role of
Yeah.
all time is Tropic Thunder.
Oh yeah, fantastic. Les Grossman.
Yes.
Yeah,
He was fantastic.
He gets so lost in the character, you forget that that's Tom Cruise underneath all that makeup and the profanity. He is so out of. That's really his best acting job, I think, in any movie he's made.
Yeah, he was really good. And Anything else on that movie?
Yeah, the only other thing, and which is the craziest part, for as crap as everyone gives it, besides Brandon, estimated budget $60 million. What is the gross revenue this movie's made?
180, 200 million.
Yeah, I would go as high as 200 million.
Okay, I see. I wouldn't have think you guys would have guessed that high. 157.9 and 999 as of recent. So.
Well, that was probably box office though.
This is just gross revenue, buddy.
Did you find it on Wikipedia?
They got my $10 today or
IMDb.
yesterday.
Here we go. I'm on. I just pulled back my Days of Thunder Wikipedia. Budget $60 million, box office 157.9.
Okay.
Is that what you said? So it is box office.
Box office, then. That's still crazy.
Yeah, it is nuts. Okay, so moving on. Mitchie Brusco, I don't know if you saw this, skateboarder. Tony Hawk praised him. He hit the first ever 1260 on a ramp.
How many spins is that? 4?
No, not exactly 4. 3.5.
3.5?
Yeah.
Okay.
That's insane.
That's insane, but the thing about it is it's skateboarding, and as cool as it is,
It's not that great. We'll forget tomorrow.
But it's a sport that has to
be on
be
the Ocho.
respected and appreciated in slow motion, because what these guys do happens so fast that you can't see it.
And when Tony Hawk was around, it was a big deal, obviously.
Right. Same thing
Bob
with figure
Burnquist
skating.
was good.
What people are able to do on ice, on skates, is amazing, but unless they slow it down on slow motion, you have no idea just how
And nobody cares
impressive
unless
it
it's
is.
Kerrigan and Harding. That's what put it on the map more.
Yeah,
It's Kerrigan and Tanya Harding. Yeah.
That's fair.
Margot Robbie played that character well, by the way. Tanya Harding, if you've never seen that. Tanya.
Tanya. It's on my queue, but I've yet to watch it.
She did pretty well with it. Give us a movie next week, Bear. I threw Days of Thunder for Brandon.
Sports movie?
Yeah.
Happy Gilmore.
Oh, I love it.
And we're ending golf here, so we probably won't have any golf chat for a little while, and then it'll be football. So, let's do Happy Gilmore.
I love it. All right, so on this day, we can wrap this up as we're going to be 2 hours in. We're at, hour and 57, I think?
Yeah.
Yep. All right, so 1929, Babe Ruth ties the MLB record by hitting grand slams in consecutive games for the second time. Crazy. In 1936, 22 nations line up as the first basketball competition in the Olympic Games starts in Berlin. Estonia beats France 34-29 in the first game.
You said basketball.
Yes.
Yeesh.
Right. 1938, baseball record, 2000th Brooklyn Dodgers home run. Legendary shortstop Leo DeRocher homers off Reds hurler Peaches Davis in the 8th inning, 6-3.
That was going to be Peaches O'Houlihan.
Peaches O'Houlihan,
Patches.
related to Patches. In 1956, Red Sox fined Ted Williams $5,000 for spitting at heckling Boston fans. Third incident in 3 weeks, because remember we talked about this a week ago, or 2 weeks ago. It's fantastic. 1960, Arnold Palmer, 20th PGA Tour win, rallies from a 5-stroke deficit to enter a playoff, then beats Jack Fleck and Bill Collins to win the Insurance City Open. In the Hall of Fame, 1972, Yogi Berra, Sandy Koufax, Lefty Gomez, Early Wynn, Josh Gibson, Will Harridge, Buck Leonard, and Ross Youngs are inducted into the Baseball Hall of Fame. 1972 for Koufax and Yogi Berra. That's crazy.
And he hung around for a long time after that induction.
Yes, he did. 1983 PGA Championship. Hal Sutton wins his only major title by 1 stroke over Jack Nicklaus.
For Hal. You know who Hal Sutton is, right?
Mm-hmm.
At the Players, he was the infamous "Be the ball today."
Yep, absolutely. So, first athletics world championships open at Helsinki, Finland, 1983. No one cares. 1991, American team of Carl Lewis, Mike Marsh, Leroy Burrell, and Dennis Mitchell set 4x100-meter relay world record of 37.67 seconds in Switzerland. 1992, San Francisco Giants announced the sale of MLB franchise to group of Tampa Bay investors. Move blocked by other investors. Obviously, they're still there.
Yeah.
92, the Orlando Magic signed number 1 draft pick,
Shaq Attack.
Shaq Attack. In 2000, the LA Lakers announced retirement of former star player and executive vice president of basketball operations, Jerry West. 2004, Cubs pitcher Greg Maddux enters the history books with his 300th career win. in their 8-4 triumph versus San Francisco. The big one that everybody remembers from 2007, San Francisco Giants slugger Barry Bonds hits his 756th home run to move ahead of Hank Aaron and break the all-time record. Asterisks?
Yes.
Absolutely.
All right. 2010, Jerry Rice, Emmitt Smith, John Randall, Russ Grimm, Ricky Jackson, Floyd Little, and Dick LeBeau are inducted into the Pro Football Hall of Fame. And I'm going to end it with that for that one. And birthdays, you said we had some birthdays today, didn't you?
Mike Trout. That's
Mike
the only
Trout's
one I know.
birthday's today.
28.
28. Is he going to go down as the greatest of all time?
No, but he'll be up there. He'll be top 5. He won't be to the level where Ted Williams is at of hitters.
Yeah.
But he'll be up there.
Okay.
For a guy in the ending of the steroid era, the way he plays and everything is fantastic. I think Bellinger might be the only one right now who could potentially be better than Trout.
Yeah, Cody Bellinger's awesome. I have his jersey in my closet. Did I tell you about that? We're at the Dodgers game, and I'm with my uncle and with Brent. We were doing Willie Nelson shows out there. By the way, Willie Nelson in Toledo tonight, so my uncle is in town. He said, if Bellinger hits a home run, everybody's getting a jersey here. But we get them from Scotty's jerseys. And we got them, and Bellinger just blasted. Robbie just stands up, jerseys, and was happy. So last birthday, happy 32nd birthday to the captain of the Pittsburgh Penguins, Sidney Crosby. Thank you. Appreciate that. So
I got a concussion blowing out his candles today.
Yeah, you're probably right. Thank you to Wes Anderson for Moments in Time. Check him out on Facebook, Wes Anderson Music. Give him a follow on Twitter at Songs by Wes. Thank you to All Wear Clothing, Brandon over there. We appreciate the shirts, appreciate your sponsorship and being the first and primary one for us. Thank you to Crandall's Quality Lawn Care, 419-704-5471. Serves the Toledo and surrounding area and not Australia.
Sorry,
Australia. And we still want your stuff from Twitter at OTL Sports Pod.
But I did find out that he will do the landscaping on my house finally.
That's before we got drunk.
I'm so mad that it took him that long.
It's on record.
Oh, I know it is. It's such bullshit.
And thank you to Tim at Verizon, True Technology Business Partner, helps local businesses deploy technologies and can positively impact revenue for the company. And thank you to Cassandra, who can help with all of your banking needs at PNC, personal banking, credit cards, loans. She's there to help. Give her a call. And Steve, Savage & Associates, who paid for Frickers, gave us our spot for episode 100. We appreciate it. We hope to go back there sometime, maybe episode 300, maybe episode 150. We don't know. We can go anytime. We'll probably just book it when there is a game and just go record and just hang out there all night. And that'll be fun. But we got to go when there actually is a game. So thank you all. As always, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, and good night.
I need a beer.
Peace out.